Welcome back to another episode of the Backlog Breakdown, a video game podcast where we seek to encourage and equip the church to engage the medium of video games wisely and responsibly. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, and with me today are my brothers, my friends, and I was going to say my I guess, yeah, they'd be co-hosts for this episode. Both Nate. How you doing, Nate?
I'm here.
You're here, and who else is here? It is Wesley Rea, the Henshin dad himself.
All the way from the West Coast Wesley.
You're muted, Wes. I'm not sure
wow,
what happened
that's not
there.
Embarrassing there.
Unmute
whatsoever. Yes, the number one patron of the Backlog Breakdown is
Number
here.
two.
Your favorite. No, your favorite
man.
one.
Now you are number one. Oh,
Number
the
one in
best
your heart.
patron?
Oh, man.
I
guess that means you can force a
I
game
don't
on
have
us next
favorites,
year.
but it's you. And it's
Thank you.
wild.
Thank you. Yeah. Maybe you're my
Awesome.
favorite host too. Who knows?
Sick.
Oh.
Sick.
Favorite Presbyterian host, at least.
Well, see,
There
it's the qualifications. I don't like that.
Well, we're here today to talk about one of Nate's favorite things, clearly, Pokemon Legends, Arceus.
Gosh, he's been dying to
that's
do
the
this
pitch.
episode so
know.
much. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Like
Nope.
he's just been beating down my
You're gonna
DMs.
wish you
like,
had died when we're
crazy.
done with this.
I don't know
episode.
how
You're
we
gonna-
waited
you're
till
gonna
the end of
wish
the
you had
year
died.
to tackle this patron pick, because we've known all year that we've had to play it, but
I could barely quell
just
him.
been
Like,
chomping
really and
it.
truly. My goodness.
Quelling. Oh my gosh.
barely quell his need to play
It's
the
a good.
game.
It's a good. Like here's
a good
here's
word,
the
yeah.
thing. It is a good word. It's a great
Mhm.
word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
but this
That's all I have to
episode
say.
should
Like insert Owen Wilson. Wow.
wow. It should provide some
Wow.
balm, so that you can.
Oh,
you can-
let's throw some balm on this.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So that it should quell your rage to
Yes.
start in on this episode. But
Oh my
I
goodness.
believe the last time that you were on, Wes, we were talking Persona. Is that correct?
No, we were talking about Xenoblade 3. Dude.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
of course.
you guys
Yeah.
did the
Nate wasn't
Xenoblade
here
3
for that.
for
episode.
like
man.
4 hours.
Hey,
Yeah, I feel like we could just keep doing more episodes.
while we're
man.
here,
Oh,
and this is sort of like maybe some inside baseball. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is on my. That's actually like pretty much like what my Switch 2 is going to be almost exclusively used for a while.
yeah, it is.
I mean that and Hades and Silk Song.
Talk song. Yep.
Yeah, but we need to we will need to sort of talk about how we're going to address that. If I'm just going to sort of do an addendum or if we just want to revisit it. So
Dude, I will switch my patron pick right now if you commit to Xenoblade 3.
you
To
don't
do-
have to do that.
Part 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Part 2.
Chronicle
Not
harder.
even getting into the DLC yet. That'll be part 3 of the Part 2.
Exactly.
We'll just combine. That's what it is, okay? Our first episode will be the episode that we recorded will be Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then the second, we'll just fold in another Xenoblade Chronicles 3 episode into that Xenoblade
Mhm.
Chronicles episode. So it'll exist together as a single entity.
Yes. And we will call it
in
Future Recorded.
stasis.
It'll be like 8
Mhm.
billion hours long.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem
And
is
it'll
that
be-
you're going to want to go back and play the first 2 games too. So
Mm.
I don't know
Oh,
that I
no.
will. Like I
I think you will. At least the first one.
we'll see.
I was going to say at least the second one, but I was.
No, I'm pretty sure the second one's just completely off of his list. There's just not a chance.
So Nate, what do you enjoy playing Weeb Trash? It gets good after the first 40 hours. you know?
Yeah, 40 hours into it, it gets really good. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Like,
man.
dude, that's I mean,
It still
like,
stays weeb trash, but it actually is good.
just absolute
Yes.
garbage the whole time. But then it's like really good.
Right. I'm
Mhm.
speaking tongue in cheek about all of that because it is Weeb Trash. It is really good. And it does take a while to get going. Like all of that is true. And I still really like the
Simultaneously.
game. And I can't recommend it because it's Weeb Trash.
Mhm.
Anyways, but we're not talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 this evening. We're talking about
Yet.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're
Oh,
the number one
no.
patron, you might have some pull as to when we play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But regardless, okay, so last time you were on was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So it has been a little bit since you've been on the episode. What have you been into in the interim?
Basically nothing like nerdy pretty much at all, except for
Okay.
like a couple choice things. But since then I have actually moved to a completely different state. I've started a completely new job, have a completely different classroom, and I started my master's degree because I'm is it a masochist or a sadomasochist? I don't really know, but I'm one of those. I'm not really sure.
Mm,
And because I want to actually get done within a year, I'm also working on my thesis. So, it's going to be
nice.
a grand old next 9 months of just work, and hopefully I'll be done with that by like August or September. And it's crazy, but it's good. It was a good move, and I like my new job. It's pretty fun. We got a lot more leniency. I won a door contest for decorating my door with Minecraft, so that was pretty cool. Got a whole
Sick.
big tub of red vines as our prize, and I'm just like, this is the best prize ever. I'm gonna eat half of this, and the kids maybe will get like one or two each. So yeah, things are fine. Yeah, it's going good.
Nice.
Red
That's cool.
vines.
Yeah, it's not much, not
Yeah,
much has been
no.
going on, but
Yeah, I really wanted to like come and say like, oh yeah, my wife's like pregnant with the fifth child at this point, but that's not happening yet. But maybe eventually.
Yeah. Keyword.
Yes,
Yet.
as if I don't need
yet.
more coming out this year.
Yeah.
Right.
You need
Yeah, more change.
more things to happen and keep you busy. And yes,
Exactly. Yeah, I'm so bored.
I can
Nothing.
tell.
You've got nothing but time. Well, Nate, what have you been filling the time that you have with? Have you been, dude?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's yeah. You know what? It's weird is like the parasocial nature of all of this. But
Hmm.
Byron a couple weeks ago had a seizure. It was a we've been to the neurologist. We've done a few checkups, and it's being classified as a febrile seizure. It was like hands down one of the scariest things I've ever experienced. But he's okay. And it's kind of just holding him waiting. Um, but yeah, it was really, really spooky, like kind of a rough couple of weeks. Um, and just for like, I guess for clarification, like I'm not trying to be a total buzzkill. Like when I say it was the one of the scariest things, like the second scariest thing of my life is having a mortar explode on the other side of a dirt heap. So like
Yeah.
fairly, it's like one's like mortal danger, and the other's like I'm like holding my son in the ER, and just like it was really scary, but he's recovered pretty well.
Mm.
He actually celebrated his third birthday, and
Mm.
we had like a little bit of a pizza party playing for him at one point in time, but then it was just like we called that off because it was like that's just too much, like
Oh, gotcha.
but we just kind of had like a low key day, but yeah, I mean we're all good, all things considered. We're all healthy, we're all whatever. Um yeah, it it was really, really pretty creepy, and
Mm.
yeah, it was just tough. So
Yeah.
but yeah, he's fine now. Like I said, we've been to the neurologist. We've sort of um we've got some plans in place and stuff like that. So it's kind
Cool.
of but yeah, it was super duper spooky times.
Yep.
Um so yeah.
For sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, I mean, like I said, and he's good now. He's, I mean, running around like today. He's what I will say is like he's very much like I'm like I love my son to death, and I will probably spoil him because I think that's just what parents do, right? But it's like you are very much like this is only child energy right now, and I'm like, and I kind of hate it. Um, it's like he fake cries a lot. You're like, and
Okay.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no, we ain't doing that. So I was like, dude, like that don't work with me. That but nah, we tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna be home. We do
Cool.
have like an appointment and a couple other things, but like we're gonna be home, hang out, sort of like yeah. But yeah, today as we're recording or when we started recording was Veterans Day, and I did not
That's
get to
right.
do my usual like, and I haven't done it. I haven't been able to do it for a couple of years now, but like this year I was like planning on doing like a little bit of the circuit. Like I've got like the veteran status. I've got it on
Hmm.
my Pennsylvania driver's license that I'm a veteran. Like I was like, dude, this is gonna be sick. Like I'm gonna get like some free meals. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's not how today happened. So,
Mm,
well, oh
dang.
well, it happens. I was really bummed because, yeah, there's a steakhouse that was offering these vouchers. Like I think you could redeem up until like May or something like that.
Okay.
And it was like, and it's a good steak. Like like
Oh.
it's like kind of expensive, but it's like,
Yeah.
and of course, like they're like, hey, it's like you can choose from these things, but it's like, dude,
Mhm.
last time I went there was a while ago, and it was like awesome food. So it's a little sad
Nice.
because I didn't get out there and get that, but oh well.
Mm.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Well,
It's not like I need steak dinners. So
it's certainly no steak, but thank you for your service, Nate.
Mhm.
Appreciate you.
shut up. Like I just don't like it. Like I'm just gonna say it like this. Like, listen, I did it, right? And I get that people are glad for that and whatever, but it's like, and I'm okay. I'm trying not to get too like serious in this, but like,
Mhm.
and I know that you were being semi sincere. Like, I think you had an idea how I was going to respond. That's why I'm like, or maybe that can cut you completely off guard.
Boy, I'm glad I
I'm
didn't say anything.
yeah. Wes is like Nate. Nate spent like 15 minutes belittling me as soon as he like jumped on camera. Like so. Um, Here's the thing. I'm proud of my service. I was glad to do it. Like, and I don't take any of it back or any of that. Like, I cherish that time of my life.
Mhm.
But maybe we've talked about this before, but it's like, I think there's a weird fetishization, I think is the word, of like just like veteran status. Is like, there's a lot of like scumbag veterans out there. And just because somebody served doesn't automatically make them a better caliber person. I mean, now there, it does do
Sure.
some, like it does qualify some things, like
Right.
dude, like. But what I'm saying is like, I don't like I'm I'm just like, I'm proud of my service. I'm glad, I'm glad, but I just don't need, like, I don't know. It's weird, It's
Mhm.
like I
Sure.
did a
Yeah.
job, like I fulfilled my obligation, and I know it's like a little bit more than just a job, but I was like, it's like, I don't know, like Mailman Appreciation Day. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird. Like
Mhm.
I'm just like, like, hey, no, anyways. So
I
yeah.
mean, you're not the first veteran I've heard that from, so it seems to be a pretty common thing.
Mm.
I just think like, it's like, listen, like I used to be pretty vehemently like anti, like I'm not taking advantage of the parking spaces or the whatever, and now I'm like, nah,
Okay.
man, like, yo,
Holy cow, I
like
would.
I like now I'm like, yo, like I'm like checking a dude. I'm like, you sure you have veteran status, homie? Like, I don't have veteran plates or anything, but it's like,
Okay.
if somebody was like to stop me and be like, are you a vet? I'd pull out my ID and be like, suck it. Like,
My
get out.
brother milks it to death.
Mm.
Yeah,
Completely.
I can't do that. Like, that's just not my style. But
Yeah.
I do, like, when the place I go to get my haircut, they give me like a discount, and I'm like, I'll
Sweet.
take it. Like, yeah. So
It's embarrassing to go anywhere with him because he's like, "Hey, you guys got like a veterans discount or something?" I'm just like, dude, just shut up, dude. Stop.
No, I don't
Knock
like
it
that.
off.
Like, listen, I'm not trying to throw shade. Like, everybody got to do what they got to do, but
I
that's
will.
not
I will throw shade.
that's not Nate McKeever's style. Like,
Yeah.
like if they bring it up, I'll take advantage of it. Like
Exactly,
if they're
yeah.
like, "Hey, are you a vet?" I'll be like, "Yeah." You know, but I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, you got a veterans discount?" Like, that's not my flavor.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
He lives in Oregon and he drives a Tesla, so make of that what you will.
Oh
We'll throw as much
man!
shade as need be.
Wow! You're just burning them.
Well,
Anyways,
between just a bunch of the stuff that you've shared, Nate, if it helps you feel any better, we've gone this entire segment and you didn't call me out for it. So I will play this just for you because it has been a few weeks since we last talked and you didn't bring that up. So hopefully that can be some balm that can quell some of the, angst inside you. But
you're making it worse. Like your attempts to soothe this rage. It's only turning the volume
stirring
up, baby.
it up. Rage. Is that a dragon move or is that a normal type move? Anyways, doesn't matter.
Outrage is a dragon move.
Outrage. Oh, okay.
I think rage is just a normal type. Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah. There you go.
Depends on which generation.
I am deeply ashamed of the fact that I know that.
I'm just thinking, like, I'm pretty sure Gyarados learned it, but anyways, I don't know. I don't.
There's also Dragon Rage.
Dragon Rage is what I'm
Dragon
thinking
Rage,
of. It's
Outrage.
called Dragon Rage, and isn't it like flying? Anyways, no Gyarados. Okay, so let's finish up this segment so we can move on because it has been a few weeks. All I'm going to say is in the interim between the previous recording and this recording, it was Halloween. We had some family come in town. My wife's brother came in town for the first time, visited Iowa, and he was telling me he is a big Godzilla buff. And he was telling me about the weirdest Godzilla collaboration between Godzilla, Toho.
It's not the weirdest.
Well, to me, I just thought it was so out of the blue. And Pabst Blue Ribbon, they had special Godzilla cans. And so I went to the store and got some for this recording. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw me hold up the can, and you will continue to see me drink from the can this evening. So that was kind of fun and just pretty random. But we've had a pretty good time. We have since healed from our sicknesses, so we've been doing pretty well over here. Got some game time in, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So before we share some things about video games, we do have some experiences to share with each other.
Press start, what's on your mind? Books, show, tracks, the best we can find. Cue it up, we're ready to play. Sharing the loot in a brand new way. XP share, plug in, let's go. Drop your favorites, let the pixels glow. XP share, we're leveling up. Turn the page, hit play, crank it up.
It's kind of funny because like any other episode, like this would have been the perfect episode
This would
to
have
go
been
back
the
to
Pokemon
the previous.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that as well. It would have been
if I would have thought ahead, but I did not do that. So, Wes, what experiences with media do you have to share with us?
Media. I hate the media. What are you talking about? So
games media is a farce.
I didn't say it had to be.
They're all shills.
True.
I mean,
facts.
No lies detected.
So for me, I've been going. Well, here's the thing. Okay, so new school, new coworkers. Okay,
right.
So there's this new, like, I'm actually working among guys again. Like, it's crazy. There's actually male coworkers. Like, it's like, whoa, crazy. And there was this one, the 5th grade teacher, who I was just like, is he nerdy? I can't really tell. He's got like really fancy hair. He used to be a tile setter apparently for like 20 years before he went into teaching. Just really fascinating story. But then it's like I was finally able to like go inside his classroom, and let me tell you, this guy has like the biggest shrine to like 1980s media in his classroom. He's got Transformers, he's got He-Man, he's got everything, WWE,
Dude,
like
sick.
Figures, like just sitting there. He dressed up as Hulk Hogan for Halloween. Like, this dude is legit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. like super super cringy, but also super cool. And I have his daughter in my class, and I had to hear about it like all day long about how embarrassed she was by her dad, and it was hilarious.
Dude,
But
that's some like S tier daddy right there.
it really is. He had the voice
Like,
all day long, and he played the theme song on his phone the entire day. Like he just put his
the
phone in his
real
back pocket. Like yeah,
the real American hero or not? What
yes,
is it?
whatever
Real
it was. Yeah.
American.
Mhm.
I am a real American.
Yep.
And-
He's had that playing. He had that playing all day long. He was 100%. Like he even grew like the handlebar mustache
Sick.
and dyed it just to look. This guy was. He's
Dude.
amazing. He's one of my favorite coworkers I've had in years. And I found out though he's also like was really into comics at one point. And so we were talking about what was it, like the Batman Nightfall run and
Mhm.
all sorts of like good comics that Death of Superman when that happened, like he was there, like he had like all of the run that he could possibly collect at the time, and he ended up trading
Mhm.
it for a bunch of Spider-Man garbage. And he says that's like the worst mistake he's ever made in his life, like trading his Death of Superman comics to just random Spider-Man comics. And it's like, yeah, that was a real stupid move. What'd you do there?
Yeah, that's not a good one.
No, terrible. So but the thing is, he like has not been privy to most like of the best storylines in the last 40-50 years. Like he had never heard of Kingdom Come. He had never heard of The Dark Knight Returns. Like he never like read anything beyond the death of Superman because it was like at that particular point in his life. And I'm like, oh dude, buddy, pal, I got something for you. And so I have been just collecting trade paperbacks nonstop for the last couple months. And I have just been like, here, you need to read this. You need to read this. You need to read this. And he's just been, it's so cool having somebody who's like a complete blank slate, who's just like, yes, give me more. I want more of this. Like he
Wow.
read The Killing Joke for the first time because I gave him The Killing Joke. And it's like,
Mm.
oh, he's like, I love this. He's been texting me. He's like, oh my goodness, who does the art for Kingdom Come? And I'm like, oh, that, my friend, is a man named Alex Ross. And let me tell you, we can go down an entirely different like tangent with that. It's just
Mhm.
it's so good to like have that kind of like experience
Yeah.
in somebody's life.
No, that is
That's awesome.
cool, man. Like that is wild to me though, that like as a dude who's like he's like, yeah, I love comic books and I read The Death of Superman.
Mhm.
And then but it's like you don't know about like Return of the Dark Knight. You don't
Yep.
about
Mhm.
or not Return, but Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't know
Batman
about
Returns. Yeah.
Batman Begins.
you shut
Batman
up.
Forever.
I'm gonna fight some fools right now.
Danny
like,
DeVito.
like Spike, you know what needs to happen. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah, you've made me invoke the AI slop card. But dude, that's wild. Kingdom Come though, dude.
It's
I
so
remember
good. So
the initial like 12 episodes, but 12 issues I really liked, and I think one of my favorites was the oh, the one that sticks with me every time I think about Kingdom Come though. Oh no, I'm thinking of Astro City. You ever read Astro City?
Mm-mm.
The Kingdom Come is awesome, but Astro City is, I think Alex Ross did some of the artwork there too. But Astro City is, you should check out that run. I was
Okay.
thinking about
Mhm.
that. I got things like wires crossed in my head,
Mhm.
but like Alex Ross did, I think, a lot of the cover art for that. But yeah, no, Kingdom Come's a dude.
Oh, man.
Well, and okay, so I dabble in sort of comic fandom, but do you know like there's links to a fairly current storyline in DC, that there's a kid that basically a lot of people think becomes Magog
Oh, okay.
or Magog or whatever.
Mhm. Well, I do collect all the Superman and Batman stuff monthly anyway, so I should probably take a look at that.
I think it's a fairly recent
Mhm.
storyline. There's like a kid that they've introduced in the last couple of years. I don't think he's like a new character. I think it's like sort of a character that they brought back or whatever. But like,
Mhm.
anyways, like there are a lot of people who were like, I want to say Lightning Lad or something like that.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Now I have to bring out all my singles because I collect singles like nobody's business. So
But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, like speaking of
Mhm.
Kingdom Come, yeah. So
okay, Astro City as well. I'll keep that in mind.
Astro City is like something different, but it's sort of a, I don't know
It's
if
Alex
it's
Ross
still,
though. Like, why wouldn't
I'm
I read
pretty
that?
sure he did some of the cover art.
Mhm.
I don't think he did any of the issues, but there's Astro City. There's I can't remember. There's a storyline in there that I just, it's a lot of it's like vignettes. Like there's some anyways. Astro
Mhm.
City's cool. You should check that
Okay.
out sometime. I actually picked up because there's like the Absolute series that they're doing, like Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, all that stuff.
Yep.
I
I
read
got all of them.
I read Absolute Batman, and I was like, hey, this is kind of like fun. But I kind of dropped out of that. But there's a couple like mini series runs. They did a Superman one. It's Superman Secret Identity.
I think I have that. Yeah, I think I was included in my package a couple months ago.
And then Batman Creature of the Night, which are like sort of like weird kind of like recontextualizations of the Batman and Superman mythos. And I'm kind of like super interested in reading those because anyways, yeah. But yeah, I love comic books. I just don't read a ton of them anymore.
Gosh, man, if I could have a podcast just about comic books, if I had the time for that, dude, it'd be so fun. So fun. I really need to put.
If I had the time
on that.
to read comic books the way that I want to, yeah, that would be a ton of fun.
Just a side note, real quick side note. Did you know that All-Star Superman just now got a full cast audio drama on Audible?
What? Okay.
Yep.
Look this up while we're talking.
Supermanio
keep going
All-Stars.
I think they're planning on a Kingdom Come one as well, so which would be a little harder to do without the art, but it's still good. But anyway, yeah.
That would actually make a really compelling though, like audio, like radio drama kind of style thing. Yeah.
Especially when they like get into biblical passages and everything. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude.
Josh is just like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I get it. Dude, you got to read Kingdom Come, Josh.
Kingdom Come, Josh, is like one. It's like it's pretty
high class.
It's just a good story that I don't even think you really need to be super rooted in comics to appreciate. Although, if you are familiar with DC, it will help. But I don't think you need it.
So good. What's actually funny is that I'm getting the big compilations of like old Superman comics, and there's a run from the 1970s. I think it was like Kryptonite Nevermore or something is how they compiled it. But my daughter was reading through that like painstakingly page by page, and she loves reading. Oh my gosh. And then she like brings it to me like every couple pages. She's like, Dad, there's a Bible verse on this page. This is from the book of Ecclesiastes. And then later on, there's like this line about like, oh, God created the world in 6 days and you were able to destroy it in 6 minutes. She's like, that's a reference to the Bible. And I'm just like, thank you. Yes. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you at 6 can like find all these biblical references. You have higher media literacy than most of like, nerds, period. But yeah. But other than that, no, I always constantly have Doctor Who or Star Trek on like a randomized loop pretty much all the time. I actually just went ahead and bought like every series of Star Trek and every series of Doctor Who that I like on Apple TV. So I'm just like, I'm just going to just watch these whenever I feel like I want to.
That's a lot.
I forget that I have Apple TV.
Yeah. I mean, it's just through like the iTunes stuff. So, you still have to purchase everything, but like basically like all of Peter Capaldi's run on Doctor Who as the 12th Doctor, $20. I'm like, 3 seasons, a bunch of specials, $20. Like, dude, no, that's like instant buy. All of David Tennant's run, $20. Like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that.
Tennant's run was excellent.
So
Matt Smith's was okay. Capaldi's was really good.
Oh, so good. Love Capaldi. He's my favorite, like 100%.
Oh wow.
Eccleston, I loved Eccleston.
Oh, he's good too. Yeah.
Like it really kind of, like, I mean, Tennant was so good that you're like, okay, yeah, like whatever. But like Eccleston's run, it would have been interesting to see them really like do something with him.
Yeah.
Instead of it was like one season or whatever. Yeah.
He's been doing some pretty decent audio dramas since then, but it's okay. But Capaldi, oh my gosh, Capaldi, I would marry that man. That man is amazing. He's fantastic. He's so cool. Remember, I'm recording in a closet.
Yes. I have
apparently. Yeah.
And you're reminding me.
Well,
Mhm.
but see, you make comments like that, but when you said I've just been randomly watching Doctor Who and Star Wars, or excuse me, Star Trek,
Star Wars. Ew,
I was
gross. Get that
I
out of
was
here.
thinking like
Yeah, the original
modern,
trilogy.
both
Put
of
some respect
those,
on that.
and
No,
that
not modern. Oh my gosh.
exactly that
No.
I'm like, well, you said randomly just watching
Mhm.
them, so I'm like,
Nothing
you know,
released after
latest
2017,
seasons,
dude. Come on.
exactly. Okay.
For either
Then that would
series.
really make me. I would have some real questions if that's the
Mhm.
stuff that
I
that you've been
have
watching in your free time.
questions.
So
Although I will say, Star Trek Voyager, I know that's like the black sheep of the family. Star Trek Voyager is actually really good. Like I really like Voyager. It's
okay,
quite hilarious.
Is that with Captain
Janeway.
Janeway?
hmm She's the worst, but everybody else in that show is the best. So
The rest of the
it's-
cast I remember liking.
mhm.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's me. That's my media.
nice.
Yeah.
Nate, what do you have to share with us? What media you been
Um,
into?
I
Partaking
finished my re-listening to Garden of the Moon by Erickson. I finished the first season of the 10 Very Big Books podcast. And it's enjoyable.
Okay.
Like here's the thing, okay? And I recognize that I'm a snob, right? And so sometimes when
He likes
like
Kingdom Come. He's a snob.
dude, like yeah, and it's like so sometimes when I'm and part of the whole premise of 10 Very Big Books, and yes, there's some like language. I'm not recommending that. I'm not
Sure.
recommending either one of these really. Like I mean, like if you like epic fantasy and sort of like it is like kind of like grimdark fantasy too.
Okay.
I do recommend Erickson. Gardens of the Moon is kind of like it's a little it's a ride. But like the 10 Very Big Books podcast is like it's like one dude who's read them before and is familiar with the books and two people who have never read them, and the one is like she is completely out of her element. And there are times when I'm listening to that podcast, I'm just like, you guys are like it's like one of those things where I'm like, this is driving me insane and you're all stupid and I hate this. But it's also really kind of funny and charming at the same time, and it's like, oh, and then you kind of step back and you're like, these are people who've like never really engaged with this kind of thing before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, calm down, Nate. Again, there's language and stuff like that, but yeah, I like it. Erickson's good. Like he's a good writer. He's like and the nice thing is like I've kind of whined about just like the epic fantasy, and it's like the well, I'm just gonna like George R. R. Martin, how he's just never going to finish the Song of Fire and Ice or whatever that the Game of Thrones books. And it's like you have these guys who write these like giant epic fantasy series and all this other stuff, and they just keep going and going and going and going. And like, listen, the Malazan books of the Fallen, they are long, but like there's 10 books and it's done. And I'm just like, that's the kind of like epic fantasy I can get into where it's done and I'm not waiting 5 years for another book. And so, and Erickson's good. I like his style. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still reading it. I'm moving on to the next one. Dead House Gates. So yeah, but that's it. Like I'm
Okay.
Nothing super new or anything. Just kind of like that's sort of been like my go-to where I'm just kind of like hanging out in that space.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, so you go from comics to like fine art novel type stuff to whatever Josh has to say.
Yeah. Speaking of things that you don't recommend, this is what I have to bring to the table is Naruto. So my wife and I have been watching Naruto for quite a while.
Why would you
now.
do that to her?
She's actually into the
I think she's the
anime.
one that does it to him.
More than I am. And we are almost done with, because it's split up into two, sort of like Dragon Ball Z. There's a time skip between the original run and then Shippuden is like 3 years later when things happen. So I just looked it up. Original show is 220 episodes, and Shippuden is 500 episodes. We are like 6 or 7 episodes away from the end of Shippuden. Now, I say that we have skipped almost all of the filler in the show, which is probably I'd say about 200 episodes.
Jeepers
So
cats.
yeah, I mean it's ridiculous how much filler. There'll just be a chunk of filler all over the place.
And people say Dragon Ball's bad. Like, come on, it's like nothing in comparison.
Yeah, well, and so the thing with this is that the writing has gotten progressively worse. It starts off really good. The original run of Naruto, I would recommend. Okay? That original, it towards the end, at the very end, some stuff happens. It's kind of like, not big on that. It kind of gets a little wonky. When I see the very end, I mean like the last like 20 episodes, whatever. But the original run is good. Shippuden, things just kind of go off the rails. People have ridiculous powers because at least it feels a little grounded originally. It's a ninja anime. They have some crazy powers, but at least the world seems to make sense. But things just go off the rails, and by the end of this show, my goodness, there are characters who have died and been resurrected multiple times. There are characters that there are generations of characters that have been resurrected. There are characters that have been spliced with other characters in order to be resurrected. Just absolutely insane things. There's a character that I don't want to give that away because it was so ridiculous. It is bonkers, off the wall, and in a way that is poorly written. But I'm in for the ending. The bad writing is in what is the word that I'm looking for? In service to some really cool moments. So every once in a while you'll have a cool fight or something cool will happen, or it ends. It is a comedy in that it ends with a wedding. I know that just by the episode titles. I know it's going to end, in the next like 6 or 7 episodes, whatever. We're at the very end of the show. It is the like Lord of the Rings, where the plot kind of wraps up and then they go home, and that's still another book of the Lord of the Rings because it's split up into 6 books.
Did you really just compare Naruto to Lord of the Rings?
Well, I'm saying that most stories end when the plot ends.
In sort of like
this
the
has
epilogue.
like an epilogue. Yes.
The epilogue.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the epilogue, I was doing a little research, and the creator of Naruto, he wrote a movie that is actually canon, and it actually makes sense. It kind of bridges the gap between the end and the epilogue, which are still within the seasons. So my wife and I watched this movie. It's called The Last Naruto. I thought it was pretty good. Samantha wasn't as big on it. It has some romance elements, which makes sense of the epilogue of the story. And I thought some of that was just well done. Maybe it's just that I turned my brain off because, hey, it's a movie. It's kind of filler content anyway.
Don't let Popcorn Theology know that you are not, that you turned into a mindless consumer.
I mean,
are they even still around?
Look.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Are
look,
they?
Yeah.
You have to become a mindless consumer towards the end of the show, because it does not make sense. Like, it is ridiculous. I could tell you things. I've already ranted to Wes about some of the things that happen in this show.
We had quite the text conversation there.
I was so frustrated. Like, I could not just let go of some of the stuff that happens. But regardless, so that movie in Japan, it did so well that, and it's the 10th Naruto movie. But this one was actually canon. It did so well when it was released that they actually got him to write a sequel to that movie. So there's a movie that happens, then there's this epilogue of about 15 episodes, the show ends, and then there is a sequel to that movie that is called Boruto, which jumps to the future, and it's when Naruto has a son, and it introduces you to his son Boruto. Okay, it's an 1.5 2-hour movie, whatever it is, and this one does gangbusters in Japan. So they decide, oh, we can't just let him end this story. We need to continue the story of Boruto and his adventures.
We like money.
Yes. So Masashi Kishimoto, he says, guys, I'm done. I am not going to write this. So he conscripts his right-hand man for the manga. He's like, you can take this over. I'll just oversee it. So Boruto has been running in Japan. But Boruto was originally just supposed to be this one movie. So in the spirit of this is sort of canon because the events in the movie is actually like the first arc of the show, but the show just like extends it out. But originally it was just supposed to be this movie. So we're going to finish up the show and then we're going to watch the Boruto movie. And that's going to be like the capstone of it all. Then I can say I'm done with it. Which again, I like it, okay? I do like it, but my goodness, the writing gets terrible. So I can't recommend it except for the show is good. So anyways, I'm done. That's all. That's my experience that I wanted to share. So how about we talk about some video games?
I was about to say, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, I got to say, like you brought up all this stuff that's like super unbelievable happening at the end of Naruto.
Yes.
And number one, why you're still calling it Naruto, I have no idea, but
yeah.
Naruto, that's how you
go back and
pronounce it.
forth.
That's the character's name. But secondly, I think the most unbelievable thing in that entire story is the fact that somebody actually wanted to marry Sakura.
Well, if you know who she gets married to, he's even worse.
No, much better.
I have you read the story because
I'm
he
aware.
is the most
I'm aware.
frustrating character.
But Sakura's the worst. Like in terms of female characters, period. Like
she's the like I know almost nothing about this other than Naruto is the blonde kid and he does the sexy jutsu, which like I like always makes me laugh.
He does do that, yeah.
And but she was like there was like a trio and it was him, another dude, and Sakura. She was the pink hair girl. Yeah, she sucked. She sucked in the beginning.
The worst.
And I've heard like all I know is that apparently she never redeems. She just gets worse.
Nope.
She just kind of sucks.
She goes back and forth, but she always has that obsession with the other guy, Sasuke. And Sasuke
don't you mean Sasuke?
He's terrible. Turd.
Sakura.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. No. I mean, there's right. We could do a whole bite size.
Here's
this.
like and like Wes had his say, and I'm just gonna have my say.
Yeah.
This is the problem though, right? With all of this, like any shonen, it starts out really great. And then like by the time you get to second, third, fourth season, you're like, I just need this to end because I hate this now.
Yeah.
Like
100%. Power creep is ridiculous in this show.
I'm just like, I understand why it goes this way, but like this is like I've just kind of given up because like I like the first couple of seasons of like My Hero Academia. I like the first couple seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen. I like the first couple seasons of Demon Slayer, right? And these are fun to watch. But then it's just like this is the same boring slop every single time and I hate it. Now, what I have heard is Jujutsu Kaisen actually gets kind of like wild. So I kind of want to double back. But still, like you watch it and it's just like, oh, it's just like he's gonna meet a rival or there's gonna be an enemy who's gonna be stronger than him. He's gonna go power up and get some super secret training. I'm just like I just need one of these idiots to just break with the trope, just break it, like and do something interesting. Like, but you can't. You can't really. I know.
So with this one in particular, excuse me, is what I was trying to say. Is sometimes shows will just completely jump the shark at one moment. With this one, it's so gradual that you start accepting. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts until you're
It's gaslighting you.
completely yeah until because like you said, it does start off so well, and the world building is so cool, and the way that things fit together is so good. But then they start introducing some things that, that's not quite within the continuity, like this doesn't make sense in light of that. And they used to call this character like one of the most powerful characters, but now it seems like there's this whole other side of the world of characters that are way more powerful. Like,
it's like DBZ laid the template, right?
Sure.
Like it's like Goku is like the most powerful being, and then it's like, and then you have like the saga, like the DBZ saga, and then it's like all of a sudden there's a bunch of characters that are just kicking Goku's tail all over the place.
Yeah.
So he has to like, does he die in DBZ? Like,
he dies early.
He dies early
twice,
and then he has to train, and like then he can fight Frieza, and it's like, but then like where they're at now, like Frieza's a chump. They're like, dude, you're a punk, dude. Like, get out of here. Like, it's like, and Goku's like fighting basically gods, and it's like, okay. Like,
that being said, the Frieza movie that was released a couple years ago, freaking amazing, so good.
I'm just
so good.
Shonen. Like, I love shonen, but I also hate it at the same time, because I'm just like, it's like these are always just like really cool beginnings, but they kind of just like anyways.
That being said, I'm just joshing you, Josh. I do actually like the series, the franchise in general. I am gonna reread it at some point. So, and I've had that song stuck in my head every day since you shared it with me.
Yeah.
Was it the Rising Fighting Spirit or the Raising Fighting Spirit or something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good. I've listened to that orchestra version. Oh my gosh, a million times at this point.
There's only a few songs throughout the show, but like 90% of it is.
The background music was always
so good.
Just always good.
So good. Yeah.
You know what? And that's what I will say. Okay. It is like just that whole era, like theme songs were just absolute rippers versus the theme song to Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is just like, it's a cool song, but it's like, there's some serious like cognitive dissonance like going on between, is it Fallen Angel Crisis or whatever?
Cruel Angel's Thesis.
Yeah, Cruel Angel's Thesis. And I'm just like,
I'm gonna have some disagreements with you, but okay.
Dude, I mean, don't get me wrong, but like, no, come on.
That was such a good song.
It's a great song. I love it. But then you watch Evangelion, and you're like,
yeah, sure.
I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, why?
That's a show that ended really, really quickly.
Like, why is this the theme song? Why? Like, aside from the name, but then you listen to it, and it's like, anyways, it's a great song. I love Cruel Angel's Thesis. Like, it's a good time. I'm just saying, like they did get much better with picking theme songs.
I think it's the second theme song of the original Naruto series. I can't remember what it is, but the first one, absolute garbage. Rocks, I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah, I want to rocks.
So yeah, the second one, I can't remember what it was, but it was so good.
The ending theme is one of my favorites ever because it's a Japanese man singing in English. Don't try to live so wise. Don't try because you're so right. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Dude, those are always my favorite theme songs when the Japanese people singing in English. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like Evangelion. Yeah.
I do have to say one more thing though that I did not bring up is that I love it. I love that theme song.
I'm just saying it.
No, I'm talking about Fly Me to the Moon.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
yeah.
I have to say, I do not recommend the English dub of Naruto. Oh. I absolutely cannot stand the English voice actor.
Believe it.
So yeah, no.
See, but I really like that actress though who plays Naruto because she's in some other shows and she's hilarious in like every other show she's in.
She's great in just about everything else she's in, but like her
Naruto is terrible.
Yeah, it rubs me the wrong. I cannot take him seriously, which I know he's a jokey character. I get it, but like in English, the annoying. And I know he has a verbal tick in the Japanese. You hear it, datebayo, like at the end of like almost every sentence he says. But like I can't do it in English. So
Believe it.
you have to go.
Believe it.
Ugh.
I wonder
No,
if Japanese
can't.
people though feel like the same way about some of their characters sometimes when we're like, no, this sounds awesome. They're like, no, this dude's an idiot. Like I just like,
Probably.
you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yeah, dude, that sounds awesome in Japanese, and they're like, nah, that dude sucks. Like,
He's the worst.
he's the worst.
Yeah.
Anyways,
video games. When was like video
yes,
games?
we are a video game
Video
podcast.
games.
We should actually probably talk about some video game stuff.
good idea.
So,
Mhm.
Wesley, what you been playing, bud?
I'll just go really fast. I picked up Legend ZA. Haven't been able to put much time into it so far. I actually am probably about the same place that Josh is at because I just also reached rank F. And yes,
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's super fun. And I'm really loving it. But like, I just have no time to play it versus my son, who is now like, I think I told you about this, Josh. Like, he has been spending every single minute of his life playing the online competitions. And he's like, he just reached rank C to get today in the online competitions.
Wow.
Like, how did you do that? I have no idea. And he is just absolutely destroying this game. And he's not very much farther than me. That's the thing. Like, he's only like maybe a couple hours ahead of me. He's just doing online competitions all the time. And I'm just like, I better not put Marvel Snap in front of this kid because he would just go absolutely nuts.
Maybe.
Maybe,
Well,
yeah.
maybe. But
Yeah,
maybe.
So it's great though. Love it. It's super buttery smooth. Like, I cannot believe how unbelievably smooth it is. And even
I think all I'm going to say though is this anecdote about your son, I think, supports my thesis about Pokemon in general, which I will reveal later.
Oh boy, I wonder. It's very thinly veiled there. But
I'm not trying to be subtle at all.
Oh, no, not so much. But yeah, it's fun. It's buttery smooth. Like, I completely agree. I even played the upgrade to Scarlet and Violet, which pretty much does retroactively make it seem very similar to like Legends EA in that it is so smooth and so actually playable now as an actual game. So Scarlet and Violet are actually now good versus they were actually terrible before. So, but this is even better than that.
So this is like this is a brief aside, and sort of we can probably circle back to this in the main topic. But I actually wonder if you wouldn't have been better served in having me play Scarlet or Violet.
No.
You don't think? Okay.
No.
Well, we can like sort of like talk that.
We can talk it over.
Yeah.
Short answer, no. Long answer, heck no.
Heck to the no.
And I can explain why later. But
yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about Pokemon enough, but love it. Can't wait to beat it. I've heard it ends amazingly. Like, from actual like good Pokemon influencers who were like hated every generation other than Arceus for like the last 5 generations said, oh no, ZA ends amazingly. It ties up so many loose ends from X and Y. Like, actual loose ends and actual like urban legends were brought into it. Like, because there's this urban legend that happened with X and Y with this one particular NPC that just kind of shows up and does stuff, and apparently all that's answered now. So it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like 12 years later and they're actually answering questions that they brought up in a 3DS game. But
right.
yeah, exactly. And then it's great. Anyway, moving on. I somehow made an impulse purchase of a Rogue Xbox Ally. It's the lower tech version, not the higher tech version, because I was kind of like looking into getting a Steam Deck anyway, because I just don't have time to play on my PS5 and I want to play some more AAA experiences. So I'm just like, well, what do I do? So I got the little Rogue Ally thing. Rogue. It's
Republic.
Rogue sounds
it's short
better.
for Republic of Gamers. Rogue does sound cooler.
Yeah,
it's
okay. Rogue,
which is not nearly as cool. We just go back to calling it Rogue. Maybe they'll hear this and be like, "No, we should just call ourselves Rogue."
It's such a better name. I mean, come on. But I picked it up and it's really fun. Like, I just loaded up my Steam library onto it, and it's like, oh wow, I can just play my Steam games now because I don't have a PC. I have a Mac, so I have 250 games that are just sitting there that are unplayable because of that. And I'm just like, oh, I can actually play it now. That's great. So I'll be delving more into those types of games in the future, I think, and maybe focusing more on like PC games I've missed in the past, or some AAA experiences that I like the PlayStation Portal, not the portable. Well, I do like the portable too, but I like the PlayStation Portable. But the fact that you have to have that Wi-Fi connection like all the time, and our
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is not terribly great as it is, I'm just like, yeah, it's not really going to work for me. But this is going to be great. I have Xbox Ultimate, whatever it is, on there, so I can play all that pretty easily. So I'm liking it so far. It feels really nice and hefty in the hand. So it's like
Okay.
with the
I heard
Switch
it's a
2, I
beefy
always feel like
boy.
I'm gonna. It is, but it feels good. Like the Xbox controller that they have, the modern Xbox controller, I feel like is one of the best controllers that they have out right now, especially with that textured feeling underneath. But
Hmm.
this is just a big expanded version of an Xbox controller. And like with the Switch 2, I feel like I'm going to break it all the time when I'm holding it like above my head or in bed or anything.
Oh,
Like it just doesn't feel durable, but this does.
dude.
This
Sure.
really feels durable.
And when we take the break, I'll go grab my Switch 2. I really recommend the deep, like for the Switch 2, the more I've had it, the longer I play it, I swear by the D-brand kill switch.
Okay.
I think it really just upgrades the kit. Like it's a little pricey. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most budget
I
friendly.
think it was like $75 at Best Buy.
Yeah. But it's a really great piece of kit. I love it. My biggest complaint is that the way that they handle like the docking is not super awesome. But we can talk about that a little bit. Like
Okay.
I'm just saying, like it makes my Switch 2 feel, because I think that default Switch 2 just feels a little like it feels like a serious piece of kit, but it's like you're also like it's also like I could just break this thing in half by accident.
Well, it's like I don't want to hold it with two hands above my head when I'm like laying down. Like, but I also don't want to be up like elevated to the point where I have to hold it down here. I want to just be able to be in bed and just have it here. But then it's like that gets exhausting. Then you're holding it with one hand. It feels like it's just gonna fall on your face. I'm just like,
See,
no.
what you need to do is you tilt your pillow up just a little bit. You get a big enough gut, and you just like right there, just boom. Like you just kind of like there's a like, dude, it's terrible for your posture, but I have perfected the position, my guy.
Dude, I was inspired by that person who put a transparent shelf above their bed with the Switch thing like right on top of it so they could just play the Switch while they're just looking up in bed. I actually got a transparent box, like a storage box, and I put my head in the box and the Switch is on top of the box. And I have the controllers just down here under the blankets. Yes, I'm a nerd. I get it.
Dude, I love that so much.
But it works. It works.
Oh, that's insane. I love it.
But
I'm here
other
for
than
it.
that, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 came out a few weeks ago. Or last week, I don't even remember at this point because Metroid Prime is also coming out. I don't even know what's coming out. Oh, and
So
Hyrule
much is
Warriors came
coming
out.
out.
Age of Extinction.
Right.
That just came out last week. So, I'm just kind of inundated with games. But Dragon Quest 1 and 2, oh, so good. They learned all their lessons from the remake of Dragon Quest 3, and 1 and 2 are just amazing. Like, oh my gosh. I put a couple hours into 1 just because, like, I have to do this. And number one, the fact that they kept with, like, the King James English throughout the entire game and added voice acting that people actually had to say those lines out loud.
Oh, wow.
That's kinda
man.
sick.
It's very immersive. I really like it. And, I know Paul's going to hate it because it's a remake of a game that he loves, but it's fun. And it's still just one player, but it's even harder now because you have multiple enemies you're fighting against.
Oh, shoot.
So you're a solo character, but you have like a string of 4 enemies you have to fight. And it's like, that's not how the original game was. It was one-on-one. It's hard. It's a hard game.
Nice.
So it's fun though. I like it.
No, was DQ1 always 1-to-1? Dragon
Yeah.
Warrior or whatever. I guess I never thought about it, but yeah, maybe it was.
Yep.
I
It's
feel
all
like there
one-on-one
was,
battles.
like, parties.
That was number 2.
Okay. Was that 2?
Mhm.
Well, I know 2 introduced like the party mechanic on the player side.
As far as I remember, it's just one-on-one battles.
Oh, dude, that's wild.
Yeah. So the fact that you're hit with like 4 or 5 enemies right off the bat, like
Ooh.
right outside the town, it's like, oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, like
I will
one
survive
slime
somehow.
is fairly manageable.
Yeah.
5 slimes, not so much. Yeah, cool.
It's good fun though. Good fun.
I love it. That is definitely on my list though. Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, whatever, OG is probably one of my favorite games. Like, that's a pivotal game for me. Like
Mhm.
that's like, oh, like I'm the guy. Well, like, we probably talked about we were talking about top 100 list at one point in time earlier tonight, and it's like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior. Yeah, that's I know for years that, like, for a few years where I was like, nope, Dragon Quest belongs on this list, and I will brook absolutely no argument. And maybe I'll be able to get it back on the list now. So Josh is like, that chance.
Just get rid of Super Mario 3D World. I mean, come on, it's easy.
I mean, technically, there's a game on there that probably isn't going to make it past the next cut.
Maybe 2 or 3.
maybe 2 or 3. So there might be. I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
That's some
Nate?
fun offerings there.
Yeah. What you been playing, Nate?
Lots of stuff. So I was on vacation.
Oh.
The other week, and obviously, because of Byron's stuff, I had to spend some of the vacation maybe in ways that I wasn't really stoked about. But I did play a good bit of Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Mhm.
I'm still kind of playing it, and I might dip into it and out of it because there are things, and we'll talk about that more here. There are things about it that I do like. I'm just saying as a general rule, it's like we'll talk more about that.
Anytime you post in the Backlog Buster channel, I'm just like, is he going to say something about Arceus? Is he going to say something about Arceus? Not a single freaking thing.
Dude, I save it for the episodes, man. So
I'm dying here.
you'll be fine. So actually, what ended up happening is kind of like, I think last time I was either at -7 or 8. If I was at -7, I ended up abandoning Creature in the Well. I think I might have done that last episode, Josh, where we talked about it, where I like the game, but it just
Mhm.
it hits like a choke point, and it's just like I'm just like, I don't like the game enough to like try and like finesse that one. So I was at -8, or maybe -7. Anyways, wherever I was, I had a friend over. He recently bought a PS5, and he was like asking me about different games like that we could co-op together, or that he should check out. And I was kind of going through my library, and I was like, oh hey, like I really liked Remnant 2. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, let me just pull this up, and I started like we pulled up my trophy list. I was like 3 or 4 trophies away from the platinum, and then I looked at the trophy list like online, and I was like, these are all very doable. And so I reinstalled Remnant 2, and I went back and I got the platinum.
Okay.
And then I went and I 100%ed one of the DLCs. And it's like, and I forgot how much I actually enjoy that game. It's really, really good. It's like cosmetically, aesthetically, it kind of puts off like, some like hobo-ish. I got a little off the mic there, but like hobo-ish vibes. I don't always care for like the aesthetics of the character, like the outfits and stuff like that, the cosmetics, right? But like gameplay wise, it's a ton of fun. Like, and it is like, yeah. So I went back, I got the platinum, so that gives me -1, and then I 100%ed some DLC, so that gives me a -1. So that means I hit -10. Right? Cool, sick. As soon as I did that, I was like, nope, pull the trigger. like, I'm like it was like one of those things that was like, I've got money to spend. I need to buy things. And so, I, there was some stuff that was on sale and other things I was just sort of sitting on. So I ended up picking up the Baten Kaidos collection on Switch. It's a card based. I like we know.
I've always wanted to play that. It looks so good.
It's supposed to be amazing, and I have a thing for cards. So it's like kind of one of those ones I've always like been side eyeing. Ended up picking up. Yep. Dispatch, which is a new title, I did pick that up as well, just because like I was reading some coverage on it, and I really love Tales from the Borderland, and I really love Wolf Among Us from Telltale. And somebody was basically like, "Yeah, this is pretty much like this is like Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderland kind of like quality." And to me, it was like, I'm in, you know, like, and I like superheroes. And, you know, so if you give me sort of an interesting take on like a superhero kind of reality thing, like I'm in. I also grabbed DQ Builders 2. Dragon Quest Builders is awesome. I need to finish that. Like I want to sort of, that's like kind of like one of those things I want to wrap that up before the end of the year. But then also and then I picked up Absalom, which is
Okay.
it's a 2-person co-op beat 'em up thing, and I think it's from Dotemu or .emu or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I think it's actually so. I think like it was just one of those things. I've been reading some stuff about it, and I was like, I like beat 'em ups, I like co-op games. This one, and it's got like roguelike elements, and so like it's like
Okay.
it does all like it like ticks all the boxes for me. I'm like, hey, I think this game might be targeting me. So yeah. But so I picked all that stuff up. So my score is back down to -6. But I am also playing.
Okay.
There's a game. It's an old platinum game called Vanquish.
Yeah.
I've kind of been like that's kind of been like my sideburn. So like I was like spending a lot of time just sort of like digging into Pokemon. I did want to beat Arceus right before the
Mhm.
episode, but I just like, and we'll talk about it.
Well,
we'll talk about it.
Too many
You
plates,
never-
man. Too many
You
plates.
never stood a chance of beating Arceus. Let me tell you that
Mhm.
right now before
Well,
the end of the year.
Yeah.
But-
I was not going to complete the Pokédex. Like, but I'm just saying, I just wanted to roll credits on the game.
Right.
Like, you know, hit like
Gotcha.
the roll credit state. But I was
You
just
really
like,
had to quell your expectations with that one.
Stop it. Just stop it. Stop. Spike, you know what you need to do. Anyways, but I was like, it was kind of, that was on my Vanquish was on my locked and loaded list.
Mhm.
And I was like, I want something short. I want something kind of like that I can sort of like dip into and sort of like just kind of like, and it's only supposed to be like 5-6 hours long, something in that ballpark.
Okay.
And so
Those are the best games. Those are
and
the
it's
best
a
games.
really like it's very of its era. So it's very like early to mid aughts kind of like game design wise. Like it was originally a PS3 game, and you can tell. But it's also like a ton of fun. Like you kind of just like you like it is. You know, you were talking about like turning off your brain. Like this is a game where it's like I don't even like one. The story doesn't matter because it's just stupid. It's just like action movie slop. It's kind of just like, you know, the Russians have taken over some sort of space station and they're using its satellite array to basically, they've turned it, it's like a microwave death ray, and they can just like nuke cities from space, which is kind of sick. And I mean, not that Russians would have it, you know, but like just having, you know, a giant microwave ray orbiting the planet.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of wild. But you you play this dude who's got like this experimental suit of armor from DARPA, and you're escorting some like space marine type dudes, and you're like your goal is to stop them from nuking a bunch of different cities. So but it's just wild. It's just like lots of robots, lots of shooting. There's a fair bit of language. It's
Okay.
definitely like, so it like really leans into that like, you know, 90s early aughts action, like, you know, like, and there's all sorts of like tropey dumb stuff. Like the one character at one point says like, oh, daggone it, it's like, you know, something
He
like,
doesn't
come
call
on,
him
you
Chief, does he?
no,
Does he say, "I'm gonna
a lot
vanquish
of
you"?
like What's that? Shut up. Like, you're the worst, dude. Like, this is a really cool game, and you're making it sound lame and gay. So stop. um, but it's like, oh, come on, you maggots, do you want to live forever, kind of thing. And yeah, it's like that kind of like tropey action junk.
I mean, that line goes hard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Come on, you maggots, you want to live forever.
That's right.
Kind of deal. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like this whole, it's like big dumb fun, and I think it's like it's a good time. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Is this your first time playing it?
I had played it. I'd never beaten it. It's like one of those things. When Parker and I were roommates, he had it, and I remember playing like the first mission or two and being like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of sick," but it's like, I never. This is my first time like really going through it. The story is absolutely inconsequential.
Right.
All it does is it sort of exists to like move you from set piece to set piece, and yeah. So
nice.
It does have like some cool. There's like a really cool, and I might, depending on how I feel, I might do a bit of a bite size, like, because it does some things mechanically that are a lot of fun, but like you kind of juggle through a bunch of different weapons, and you can only have like 4 equipped at any one time, but it's very arcadey in the sense that like you can like roll up, like weapons will drop sometimes from enemies, and you can roll up and just swap your weapons. But if you can also, if you keep the same weapons in your sort of weapon wheel thing there, and you can pick up an extra one and either use it as an ammo source, or if your weapon is full, you can actually upgrade the quality. So it'll do like, you'll have a bigger magazine, do more damage, that kind of stuff. And there's like some loops like that in the game that I think are really pretty interesting. And it's just kind of a demonstration why like actually Platinum kind of ruled. They've always been kind of like good. It just, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Vanquish is kind of cool. It's actually really cool. It's just also, whatever. But that's what I've been playing. Beatdown scores I was at -10 for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But that was like I was like, I just need to hit -10, and I hit it, and then I immediately went like, buy things.
Don't need that anymore. Yeah. Well, I should be hitting that soon, hopefully, by the end of the year, because I knocked another game off of my locked and loaded list, which is BioShock Infinite. I did finish that one up. I played through most of it over the weekend, and I have a lot of thoughts on the game. I understand why it is so highly regarded for its time. I was surprised by the differences between it and the first BioShock, which I like quite a bit. Primarily in terms of gameplay. It's certainly an ambitious story. In the similar vein to BioShock, you can see, some of the similarities, some of the echoes between the two games. But I have some complicated feelings on the game itself because, in comparison to the game that I got from the library, Pokemon Legends ZA, which I think makes a really good impression right off the bat, BioShock Infinite to me was not enjoyable off the bat because of, if you've played it, the way that it sets up its world. It makes the very first kill very graphic. And so you feel, I'll just say me, I felt bad, like, oh, and then you continue to do that throughout the beginning of the game. And I'm like, I don't feel like a good character. Like, I don't trust the other people around me, but man, this just makes me feel like a bad guy. Now, as the game goes on, certainly as I got used to the mechanics and stuff like that, I started to enjoy myself more just from a gameplay standpoint. But it did feel kind of grimy in a way that BioShock, you're kind of fighting for your life and you see everyone that you're fighting is a bad guy. But the heavy amount of gore, I'd say, and violence within the opening of BioShock Infinite just caught me off guard. And anyways, so that's just from the beginning of the game. Certainly there's twists, turns, and ups and downs throughout the rest of the game, and I have more thoughts on that, but I don't necessarily want to get into it. I just say that I have some complicated things kind of tugging me in different directions about BioShock Infinite, but there's a lot to talk about. So hopefully we'll do an episode on it where I can kind of
decompress. I'll kind of put that a little bit higher up on my list, and we can pencil in an ep on that here in the pretty nearish future.
Should be fun. Yeah, that'll be good.
Well, not based on what you just told me about the game.
Yeah. I mean,
no. When we had to disclose, there was actually, we were talking about it, and you're like, "Did you ever beat it?" And I was like, "I think so. I don't know." And then it was like, and it was like I had this like weird blackout, and then I was like, "Oh no, I do remember the ending." And then we were talking about it, but it's like it's also very, I'm like I know I played this game. I don't know if I actually beat it or not, but I know the ending, and I'm just like, what? I don't. Yeah. So yeah.
So it being number 15 on the top 100 is super well earned, right?
Well, boy. Yeah, that's gonna be the top 100 recap is gonna be. We have given ourselves some things to think about.
And in regards to the griminess, it's like this is why I prefer to quell my characters instead of kill the characters. Quelling is so much better.
Yes, that's a very good point. The last thing that I'll say is that the game does end somewhat abruptly, because it's not a very long game. And I was surprised at where it ended and where it went. It felt like it could have gone on longer. They could have extended the story, but instead they chose to end it with a certain action. And the answer that the game gives, I think, has been done better in games that I've played that have come after this game. And so I fully recognize that my experience is a bit anachronistic, but in terms of story, I think there's a better way you could have handled it, because ultimately when I step back and take a look at kind of some of the themes of this game, there are some themes that I enjoyed, but the overall message seems to be one that I would disagree with. Whereas I think there have been games that do something similar as the big twists of this game that do them much better. And I think one of our co-hosts might know what I'm talking about, but not the other. But I won't get into that because I'm not going to give any spoilers. So that's all I'll say about BioShock Infinite. Since then, I've been playing the last game on my locked and loaded list. I need to finish this one out before the year is over to get those bonus points. And that is Ninja Gaiden 2, the Sword of Chaos, something like the Dark Sword of Chaos on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let me tell you, this game hates you. This game, it's not just tough, but it's like, oh, it would be really annoying is if we just spawned a ton of enemies from both sides of the screen that home in on you and fly at you. It does give you some tools to be able to fight it, but it is definitely a game where like, oh, you need to memorize where all the bad guys are in order to do well. So, but it's fun. It's NES hard. What can I say?
Yeah, dude, that's always wild. Like you go back to these games, and it's like even when I went back to like Mega Man 2 a couple years ago, just to like sort of like I was like, oh, oh yeah, this is like, yeah.
See, but Mega Man 2 is heavy and precise. This one is like fast and twitchy and precise.
Yeah,
which gives a whole other.
It reminds me, like I remember thinking, like I remember always sort of like Contra and Ninja Gaiden, whatever, however you want to say, Gaiden,
Naruto.
Naruto.
It's not Gaiden.
It's not Gaiden.
You can think about it that way.
Dude, yeah, it's not Gaiden.
Yeah. He's not gay. Den.
It's
He's a guy.
It's a Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
But like that and Contra, there's like a weird overlap with those two games in my head. Where
Okay.
it's like I remember just like them feeling very similar. Like they kind of tickle the same receptors. Like not quite.
Okay. Yeah.
But like just like that, especially like a couple of the later Ninja Gaiden. I just said Gaiden because that's what I called it growing up.
Call it a Freudian slip.
Yep.
I think.
Nice.
Aw.
Awesome. Well, these are the games that we have been playing. We do have another game that we're going to be talking about later in just a little bit.
Mhm.
Before we get to that, we do want to let you know that if you like what you hear, what you've been listening to for the past hour and a half at this point, we'll see, however long it ends up being, we do have a Patreon. If you would like to support us, first of all, share. If you care about us,
Do the
share
sharing and
the
the caring.
podcast, do the sharing, do the caring, do the rating, do the reviewing. And if you'd like
Yes.
to go above and beyond, as Nate likes to say, we have a Patreon where for any amount, as little as $1 a
For
month.
as little as $1 a month.
Yeah.
But they
you
would
get-
prefer more. Just saying.
If you want to give us more, that's fine
Yeah.
too. I'm
Just
If you
think
want
of
to be
it
the
as a
first
tip
one
jar.
to get to 3 digits, I mean, I'm sure they would like you.
I don't
That
know.
would-
I don't even know how I would respond to like. I'm
be
like,
like,
I don't
what
know.
is this all about? Be a little wary. What is the intentions?
This
behind
feels
this?
like this. It's like what is that? Ralph Wiggum. I'm in danger. That would be my response. Where I'd be like, I'm in danger. Like giggling and
But
also incredibly nervous.
But the Patreon's there. Just think of it as a tip jar if you like what we do. But there are some perks that you get if you become a patron. We do have a completely separate podcast that we do called the Bro Hang, where we just hang out. We talk about all kinds of different things. It can be weird. It can be wacky. We try to be, as normally as insightful as we are with these episodes, but sometimes it's just off the cuff. Whatever
Sometimes
we want
it's
to talk
basically
about.
just fart jokes. Or
Occasionally.
the intellectual,
Occasionally, it's
or
not
the intellectual equivalent.
sometimes, but
Brain
not all
farts?
the time. And there's plenty of that to go back and listen to.
Some of them are a little more sober and serious
Mhm.
and introspective, but other times it's just
We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out, and you get to listen as well. So if you like our banter, you've got more of that there. You also get a special role in the Discord, and you help to shape the future of the podcast with recommendations for games, for topics, for things like that. We'll be rolling out some new patron picks here for the new year. Oh, you also get access to our calendar and our schedule for recording and things like that. So that Patreon is available to you if you're interested. Patreon.com/the Backlog Breakdown. Some other things that we like. We are part of the Playwell Network. We've got some friends. They've got some podcasts. Wes, you've got a podcast. So let's listen to a word from you about your podcast.
Hey there, I'm Wes, and I run the Henshin Dad podcast. If you don't know what that is, well, it's a one-man show where I talk about all the things that you need to know about the tokusatsu genre from Japan. If you've seen shows like Power Rangers and Ultraman, then you've seen tokusatsu, and I just happen to think those types of shows are pretty cool. So come on over and take a listen as I discuss all the current and retro happenings in the genre. You can find it over at anchor.fm/HenshinDad. I'll see you there, and don't forget, Henshin a go-go, baby!
And we're back. So tonight we're going to be talking about something I'm just chomping at the bit to talk about. I'm dying to talk about this. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dead inside. No, it's not that bad. Oh, you guys like that? I thought that was good. I thought it was clever. Yeah. Wes is just like, he's making me feel bad about my pick. It's like, even though he
I
admitted
feel very
to me,
quelled by it right now. You know,
he admitted to me that he's like, I fully expected you to not enjoy this at all. And I'm like, why would you? Like, in my head, I'm going like, when he said that, I was like, why? What did I do to you, Wesley? Like, what did I ever do to you? I mean, except for outed you because you're deeply closeted.
very literally right now.
We're
yes.
this. If we were
It
monetized,
doesn't
this
look like
video,
that deep of a
this
closet.
this
It looks-
this if we were monetized, we wouldn't be anymore.
Oh,
Oh
goodness.
boy. Anyways, yeah. We played Pokemon Legends
Mhm.
Arceus.
Mhm.
And listen, like, I think it's kind of one of those things where yeah, there's a lot of like stuff that we'll kind of get it. We will get into it here shortly. But I think, just to sort of preface this, is like, this has been a year where I have played a lot of stuff that I have just not enjoyed. I've tried,
Mm.
and I'm not trying to throw shade, but there's a fair bit of stuff that has come across the plate, the table, that I've just been like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
and
how's
it's,
Marvel Snap going, by the way?
oh, it's destroying my life. You know, $20
sense.
at a time. It's ruining everything. Speaking of things I don't really like, but I keep playing. But when you nominated this, I dragged my feet. Like, I was like, I just don't want to play this. I really don't want to play
Really,
this.
couldn't tell at all.
I if you couldn't tell, it's because you weren't paying attention.
Oh, yes.
Because I made it pretty obvious that I was not excited about this.
Mm.
And it wasn't like, I've just got to be sort of like, I didn't hate it. Now, I have thoughts, and this is kind of a game. This falls firmly into the category of like, it's fun. I can see the hook. I actually find myself sort of like enjoying it a little bit, but it's ultimately a game that I don't find incredibly compelling. Like, which is why, like, when we came to it, like, I was trying to beat it, but I was like trying to beat it so that I could talk about it. But it's like, honestly, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a fine game. It's a good game, but it's definitely not for me. And part of it
Okay.
is like, I sort of super subtly hinted at my thesis, but Pokemon is and I may have even stated this on the podcast before, but Pokemon, in my opinion, and I think Arceus sort of reinforces this for me, is that it's not targeted at people like me who never played Pokemon before. It is targeted at 8-year-olds and people who have grown up with the Pokemon franchise. That's it. And I am neither one of those things. And, so it's kind of like, it's not a bad game. And especially, we've sort of having a conversation right before we started recording here, where it's like, there's like a ton of lore apparently in Arceus. And like, it's sort of like, but it's like, what I found there is like, I've called it bad persona. I've said things about the system where it's like, it's overwrought in ways that it shouldn't be. And it's underbaked in ways that don't make sense to me. Like, there are things where it's like, it feels complicated in ways that aren't helpful and aren't intuitive and aren't useful and aren't additive. And then there are times when it feels incredibly basic. All that being said, I think it's a fine game. I enjoy it. There are parts of it that I really like, but it's just one of this. It's just, yeah. So that's that's the thing. That's my baggage. Like, and sort of like kicking off, we talk about baggage and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so that'll tee is like, that's my baggage. But this will tee off the question is like, Wes, what possessed you? Like, why were you like, hey, no, Pokemon Legends Arceus? That's the ticket there, pal. No, and I'm like, I'm, but like, what was it that you're like, no, like, it's time to make the boys talk about some Pokemans?
Okay, so this is something I've actually been trying to not so subtly get us to do for quite a while now. I feel like every single time we have a book club voting time, I'm just like, hey, guys, let's play Pokemon. Come on, let's do Pokemon. And I feel like a bunch of other people are like, yeah, let's play Pokemon, any Pokemon game. It doesn't really matter. And then for some reason, some guy, some mailman somewhere is just like, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, I know
We're
that
not doing
guy.
that.
I
Yeah,
am that guy. Like
Yes.
to quote Obi-Wan
I know him.
Kenobi, of course I know him. He's
It's
me.
me. Yes.
And I
And
I have a
so
special delivery.
firmly
It's a
take
full
this
box full of
thumb
no.
and I go,
now, so you've always kind of put the kibosh on that, and I was just like, I got to be able to do something here. I got to make this work somehow. Oh, wait, there's only one opportunity I have to strong arm Nate into this, and that would
Yeah.
be to completely waste or not waste, depending on your perspective, my patron pick for the entire year, just so that he would actually like engage with this game in some way, shape, or form. Now, I've tried to get you into the Pokemon TCG mobile app. And I'm just like, man, this is like Marvel Snap. This is basically Marvel Snap, but actually pretty decently fun, Like you should try it. And he's just like, no, not happening. He always responds with a really sarcastic gif, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure you've seen it if you're in the Discord. Like he always has something to reply when it comes to Pokemon. So I was like, I have to make this happen. And this is the only way I could do it. Now, am I wrong?
for
It's-
making me play this, yes,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
I think it was a very effective. I would say it's a super effective way to make him play it.
I quelled him into submission, that's for sure.
Effective.
Mhm.
Shut up.
So would you say it's a good experience?
Like, listen, no, it just kind of like I said, it was I didn't hate it.
Mhm.
Like I think the game's like enjoyable, and at times like it's like I actually kind of enjoy getting in there and hunting down the alphas. Like there's something about now. What I will say is like the Pokeball sort of mechanic can suck it, dude. Like, and I know that this is the one where you get to like it's different now because like you can sneak around instead of just like being completely RNG, and I
Mhm.
do respect that, but also like I'm a 7-star or something like that, and it's like I sometimes like I'm going to capture an alpha, and I have higher level Pokemon in my party, and the game's like, nah, dog. I'm like, I'm throwing an Ultra Ball. I'm throwing the Gigaton Ball. And I'm shrouded. And I just ate a raspberry or whatever those things are, the raspberry or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's like, I'm doing all the things to tilt this in my favor. And the game's like, no. And I'm like, and I look at the game and I go, no back. Like I'm turning you off.
This must be a game for 8-year-olds.
This is a game for babies.
Who could probably catch the Pokemon a little quicker, but I digress.
Probably. I mean, but it's like but like no, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't, but it was like it's funny because it was like you're like at one point in time you're trying to like sell me on this and you're like it's like Breath of the Wild but with Pokemon. And I was like, you're making it worse.
Yeah, I realized that
making
after the
this
fact.
worse. It's like Breath of the Wild is like not my favorite thing. Like I come to it grudgingly being like, no, this is a good game. This is a pretty great game. I also kind of hate it. Like, it's like I don't want to. I just don't like it that much. It's like and that being said, like I didn't hate the game. Like it was like there were parts where I was like glad to play it. Like it was like kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I got Arceus, and it's like and honestly, I'll be holding on to Arceus for when Byron's old enough. Like I think I'm gonna like long term lend it out to some friends whose little boy is like super into Pokemon right now. Be like, hey, here you go. Like you can borrow this until Byron's old enough to play it, and if he even wants to play it. Like, just like you can have it indefinitely. Just don't trade it or lose it. If you lose it, whatever. I don't care.
Okay, so anyway, let me go back and give a more serious answer. I'll expound on this a little bit with my baggage. I'm coming to it, but before I do that, I do have a question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much better would this game have been if you had a hook shot?
Oh, 10.
10. Okay, perfect.
Every game, dude, like that's a dumb question because every game is better with a hook shot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Every game is better with a grappling hook.
Mhm.
Exponentially. It's a scientific fact.
Okay, the only pushback I have is that by the end of the game, you have lots of methods of traversal
That is true.
that are very effective. So I know, Nate, you told us before we started recording, you just got Sneasler. So it
I've
allows
been
you
climbing
to
around with Sneasler. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
But
Do you
there
not
is
have
another
Braviary?
form. No, that's
No, I
the
don't have
last
the
one
flyer
that you get.
yet.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
your opinion's invalid now. Come on.
Dude,
That-
Braviary changes the entire game.
Dude,
The
grappling
entire game.
hooks rule. And anybody who wants to be like, oh, well, you have other, like, okay, sure, they're
You mean
functional.
me? 30
Yes,
seconds
so
ago?
you.
Is
Yeah,
that what you're
you.
saying?
You specifically, a minute ago at this point in time. There are other perfectly legitimate forms of travel. Are they cool? No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
freaking awesome,
No,
actually.
just
Not
like,
like
what
shooting-
Wes said.
not
you
like
don't have the
shooting a
last
rope.
form, so
Or you know what? You could even do like a Pokemon thing where I'm sure there's like some Pokemon that's got like vines or something that it shoots out. And you could like do that to like rip
Mhm.
around. That'd be awesome. That'd be sick.
Now, question then.
Am I
in-
wrong? Am I
in
wrong?
Wind Waker, I mean, no, you're not wrong, but I digress. In Wind Waker, do you really like it when you can glide?
Do I really
Do you like the
it
gliding
when-
mechanic? Yeah. In Wind Waker?
Man.
It's Wind Waker, right? Wind Waker has a gliding mechanic, right? Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
the leaf. Like you
hold
get
the-
a
Yeah, the leaf.
Yeah.
Do you like the leaf?
That's fine.
Okay. Just curious.
Is there a point to that question?
No, there's not. Not a point at all. But anyway,
I'm like, listen,
you don't even have Braviary. I'm sorry. I can't accept this opinion
Every-
anymore. I was
every
with you right up
game-
until that point.
listen, I don't need to have the flying mount in order to just say like, dude, it would also kind of be sick to just like grapple hook, like zip, like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
shoot a vine out, pew, zip. Like
Mhm.
that's awesome. I stand by it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, there are other legitimate forms of locomotion, Joshua. They aren't as cool. They are not as
What were we, the
cool.
1800s?
it's just I mean, certainly the game was not made around that premise. I can't think of very many places in which the hook shot would really be very helpful because it's mostly just kind of like hills, mountains.
You know, it'd be
things like
awesome
that.
with the hook shot. Like, dude, I
So-
can think about like would be awesome. Like you sitting in the tall grass, and you got like a Pokemon's that's like just like a little outside, but you can like zip and then bang hit him with a ball. Like
Yeah.
awesome. That'd be sick.
Well, actually, one
Or you
thing we
could
haven't
fly.
touched on, or you could fly. That would be,
could fly.
that would be
You can
even more
fly.
sick. Then just snatch a Pokemon while you're
Yeah.
flying by it.
No joke.
Um,
I've caught many legendaries with that mechanic. It is so
What?
satisfying when you get to that, especially the last one, Enamorous. Oh my gosh. That was the hardest battle I've ever done in Pokemon. And I was able to get it just by flying over and getting down right at like the perfect sneak attack right on him with an Ultra Ball probably or a Timer Ball. I don't even remember which ball it was, but it was a good ball. It was the best ball. And I was able to get that last Pokemon, fill up my Pokedex, and then fight. Well, anyway, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but you continue what you're saying.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
he was just
Yeah.
talking
About flying,
smack.
locomotions.
Yeah, no, I lost it.
I'm
It's
sorry.
no longer there.
Terrible.
I'm not.
I really quelled this conversation down. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Yeah.
But anyway,
you're
let
gonna.
me-
Are you actively trying to use the word quell
Oh,
more often than Arceus uses it?
I can only
like,
hope. It's a good
You can
word.
only hope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway,
because
let me get back to
yeah,
my baggage.
some of us are
Because my
with
baggage
rage.
will directly inform why I made this pick. And I didn't really realize this until just like about a month ago when I was, or even a couple weeks ago. I can't remember when I was talking to you about it, but I was, messaging you because you don't actually like publicly acknowledge the fact that you're playing Arceus. So I actually have to like really dig down into it.
I've publicly acknowledged that I'm playing it. I just have refrained from comment,
Yes, I know. I know.
which is a thing
I'm
that I
aware of
do
this.
when we're going to talk about games on episodes. Like I refrain from a lot of comment because it's like we're going to
Mhm.
do a whole episode on it.
Okay.
So-
Fair enough. But as a lifelong 8-year-old, as you might say, as a lifelong Pokemon fan.
No, I'm just saying that you got started as a kid.
No, I get
and
it. Yeah.
yeah.
I think I was 8 actually. No, I must have been 9 actually, because it was 1998, so I would have been 9 about that time. But anyway, as a lifelong Pokemon fan, I cannot
1998.
even.
Just for
Yeah,
context, in 1998, I
you
was
were almost.
17.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was again missed the
Mhm,
window.
just a bit, yeah. Except my uncle didn't. And he was older than you at the time, and he was like, but he is kind of like a lifelong 8-year-old anyway. So I kind of see what you got going on there. Yes,
Touche.
yes.
Touche.
But what's interesting to me is that as a lifelong Pokemon fan, as someone who has dug into this game and into the entire franchise more than any normal, healthy, sane person probably should, like I
So,
cannot
like most of
necessarily,
the Pokemon fandom.
yeah, like most of the Pokemon fandom, exactly. And we have all of this meta conversation around it. Like there's just so much involved in getting into this game, both mechanically as well as lore wise and everything. There are so many different aspects of it with the trading card game, with the anime, with the manga, with the games. Like all of that is part of this entire like big universe. So I'm a fish swimming in this ocean, and I cannot necessarily see like the water around me because of it, because I'm just so
Yeah,
deep into
you
it.
like if somebody's like, "How's the water?" You're like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly. And so to give somebody the opportunity, it's just like I was talking about with my new coworker. It's like to give somebody the opportunity to share something that I am just so knowledgeable and passionate about, when they actually know like almost next to nothing or next like completely nothing about the thing. There's something like really interesting, and I think it helps to recontextualize why I like the game in the first place. And when I was kind of chatting with you, like you're bringing up these things, I was just like, I never even thought about that before. Like you're actually organizing your boxes. Like,
Yeah, dude.
who
When you were like,
organizes the boxes?
I was like, dude, like this stable system is like so stupid. Like, why is this? And you're like, I never use that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
I'm
Like,
just like,
for
you
me, it's like,
organize your Pokemon. What
yes,
are you talking about? Like, why would you do that?
yes,
By weight. No, I'm
By
just
the
kidding.
way,
no, no. I just want to know what I have, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. I mean, there's a whole like sort of like
Mhm,
rant that I could go down. It's part of like my sort of like beef is that there's a lot of systems in the game
mhm,
that I'm just like, why is this even here? Because you're not expected to use them.
mhm,
It's like you're like the stable system is part of that. Like
mhm.
you're like, I'm like, hey, like how do you manage your stables with all your Pokemon? And you're like, what? I don't.
You gonna
Like
just keep the
I'm
same
going.
6 Pokemon the entire time? Really? That's bizarre. Why would you do?
I
Why would
mean,
you ever
and
change?
like because I like catching the alphas, and if one of the alphas
Mhm,
I catch is better than the one I had before, and it's like I I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff there where it's like I'm just
mhm,
like, yeah, and we can talk about. I would love to like circle back to some of that stuff and not just be like,
mhm.
no, there's all this like because I want to like qualify some of my statements too. Like I want
Okay.
to talk
Mhm,
specifically about like my problems with the meta, like like some of like all of it, like and not to be mean, but just like because
I'm feeling
I
very
think
vulnerable
there's
right now.
there's
Just
well no I mean not even to
no,
be like
just
I'm not trying
kidding.
to be harsh to the
No.
game,
Mhm,
but I'm just like, dude, like this is as somebody like part of it is like, yes, I know nothing about Pokemon, and I'm not trying to cut
mhm.
you off here,
Nope.
but it's like I am deeply rooted in JRPGs and systems, and
Mhm,
like I am a very systematic, systems oriented gamer. Like
mhm,
like sometimes the story is like enough to drag me, but it's like usually there has to be a gameplay loop, and like and what's so infuriating is Pokemon sort of like gets close but then kind of like poo-poos on it, and
Hmm.
in the sense that like there are some games that like you play them right, and it's like they're kind of like Othello in the sense that like Othello's got a really easy rule set, but like the people who are really good at Othello, like they know that game, like they know how to play, like how to open, they know how to like trap you into like letting them take the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's like Pokemon just never feels like it gets like it just kind of like it hints at some, oh, there's something more here, but then it never really delivers. Like, do
mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like in the sense that like and again, like when we talk about the meta, if we talk, it's like sometimes I look at the systems and how like that works, and I'm like, why? The stables. It's like, why? Why do you have these stables if like you're not supposed to use them? If you're not supposed to use them, then don't put them in there. If you want people to use them, then put like quality of life issues that like let people sort Pokemon by types, by levels, by whatever. Like, but no, they're like, no, here's just like all the Pokemon you get, and they just auto feed into this thing, and then and it wrecks with like my particular brand of like completionism OCD nonsense, which is just like gives me apoplexy.
Okay, so there's a couple points that you brought up that I can kind of piggyback on. So I can agree to the most part that mechanically this game is is quite a bit different from the regular mainline games, is because they basically cut out half of the mechanics that you would normally have in a Pokemon game to begin with. For example, I'm pretty sure, I can't recall this exactly, but I'm pretty sure like you can't even give items for Pokemon to hold in this one. Am I right? Pretty sure.
No.
It's been a while since I picked it up. So that's an entire section of the metagame that is like super, super important for competitive. Like you have to be able to like understand which held items can be held by which Pokemon and what that actually does to their stats and what that does to the different types of attacks that they do. So yes, this is kind of like, in terms of being able to compare this to like previous Pokemon games, this is closer to like the Gen 1, Gen 2 type games where things were a lot more simplistic and you didn't have as many aspects of the meta that you could actually like really dig into. So I can get that. There actually is. They actually did take things away versus adding them into adding like new stuff into it.
There's no breeding. And like I know
There's no
that,
breeding.
like,
Yep, that was
the
the other thing I was
breeding
gonna say.
is like this thing where it's like I know a dude who was like upset, like he explained in detail for hours at one point in time, like his whole like breeding strategy.
That's probably me.
No, it was a dude I used to work with years ago, and I just like, and there was a part where I was like, oh, this is incredibly fascinating, but also like, it's like, why, man, why do you do this to yourself? This sounds excruciating.
Because I want higher numbers.
Like, but like it, yeah. And anyways, and it's like,
It's
and
not,
even sort of,
higher numbers. That's the whole name of any kind of game. Come on, any
Yes.
kind of JRPG. You just want the higher numbers, man. This is the
Josh,
best min-maxing strategy ever.
Josh is just like nodding his head, scratching his back, and just being like, I guess. I just,
Good thoughts.
I saw
Good
the
thoughts. I
back
like it.
scratcher come out. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Just listening.
But in listening to this, Josh, like I am kind of interested here. Like, and I don't mean again to cut. This is Wesley's time to shine, but it's like so far you're listening to Wesley and I sort of snipe back and forth. And what are your thoughts, sort of like, listening?
So
to this
okay, are you asking my thoughts? Are you asking my history?
Like,
are you asking?
We need to start
Give
with your
us a little
baggage
bit,
first.
because-
let's start with your baggage, but then sort of some of like even some of what Wesley and I have sort of been chewing on, like, and sort of like volleying back and forth. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
so-
if I can remember it, then I will come back to some of the
and
finer
if you
points.
can't, well,
One
then-
thing that I meant to say earlier is you can't have a hook shot in this because it's feudal Japan. They weren't invented, so there's no way they could have made it anyway. So you
True.
can't-
video
it's just
game,
not possible.
you
So
True.
that's the first
Just like
thing that I
Pokeballs.
wanted to say. In terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
no, they do
Yeah,
make the Pokeballs.
Pokeballs
It's just
are
that the
super
Pokemon
realistic.
can shrink themselves. So yeah. Anyways,
I do love. I don't mean it, but the no, they just they can get really small and they just
They
love
choose
to
to
be in
shrink.
balls. And I'm like what? I was like,
and they like the better balls more.
yeah.
So you just
I
make
was
better
like- I
balls
was
for
like-
them.
But then when you capture one, that's his ball. It doesn't matter if
Mhm.
like he really was like super into that one. He's like, that's his now.
Well, he was super into it. That's why he was captured.
Apparently, he's super into it now.
Literally
Anyway.
into it. So
Oh.
anyway, right. It's how they that's the workaround with technology, is they're just figuring that stuff out. I get it. It's for the sake of the mechanics, because you can't have Pokemon without Pokeballs. Like it just wouldn't work.
That'd be crazy.
In terms of history, so I was initially very reticent when I was a wee lad and Pokemon came out. I know how popular it was, and so when it was announced that on Kids WB they would be airing Pokemon, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I was a hipster kid, like, great, now there's going to be Pokemon. But
From
lo
8
and
years
behold,
old, he was a hipster kid.
Then you watched.
but lo and behold, yeah, I know. I was like all annoyed by it, but I
He
gradually
preferred those
warmed
adult
up
cartoons
to
like
it.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't for quite a while afterwards.
He was probably watching Yu Yu Hakusho then.
Oh my gosh.
I can't say I watched that as a kid. No, that because that was Toonami, and I didn't even have cable. Regardless, but that was my initial thing with Pokemon. But then I got into it, and I don't remember. I don't think it was the show first. I think it was the game first, is what it was. Friend across the street had Pokemon Blue, and so started playing that, and it's like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Then got into the anime, then got into the cards. I actually liked playing the cards, not just collecting them, but actually playing them. Was where I was when I was a kid. So I have played through original gen Pokemon, and then I didn't actually play through another Pokemon game until quite a bit later, unless you count some of the Pokemon Snap. Okay, played through that one.
So good.
But it it is good. And you know what? That maybe there's a little through line with that too. But we'll get to that in just a second. Is kind of some of the reasons behind this Pokemon game. I played Pokemon X, and then I played not the latest, because not Scarlet and Violet, but Pokemon Sword on Switch. And so there was quite a while when I wasn't keeping tabs on Pokemon hardly at all. I have dabbled in some of the Gen 2 Pokemon. And now I own Heart Gold, actually. My pastor gifted me a copy of that last year.
Oh, so good.
I'll be playing it soon. Yeah.
So good.
And Pokemon pinball card games, things like that. Anyways,
oh my gosh.
so very
good.
familiar with the games, even if I haven't personally played very many of them. I own Pokemon Platinum as well and played a good chunk of that, probably a couple dozen hours, but I didn't finish it. So that's kind of my baggage going into this. And frankly, by Sword and Shield, I was playing that with my kids watching. I kind of want to introduce them to it, and that did well in terms of introducing them to it. But it did, by that point, for sure, it felt samey. And this is not someone who plays every gen of Pokemon, but it is kind of just like, yeah, okay, this is what Pokemon is, So Pokemon Legends Arceus rolls around, and Wes, you're talking it up. And I mean, first of all, I just love the art style. I think it's really cool.
So good.
I thought, and just watching stuff on the game, it looked really cool. Different focus, much more about catching the Pokemon, which sounds like, oh, well, duh, every Pokemon game is about catching the Pokemon. But no, not really. This one is special in the way that it focuses on that. And so what I will say, Nate, now coming full circle, last question, what are some of my thoughts on it? You guys are kind of going back and forth about these systems. I think the core of this game was dropping you into when people first started interacting with Pokemon in this Pokemon world. So that's your premise. You don't know, you're still on edge. You don't know how to interact with Pokemon. People are afraid of these monsters that are wandering around. Some people have tamed some of them, but not really. So it does, actually, Wes, you have this. So I'm going to steal this from your notes. It is kind of an isekai, right? You're pulled out of nowhere and dropped in here. And that, I think, is that's the heart behind it is, okay, if you didn't know anything about them, now you have to go as a researcher and research these Pokemon, which is similar to original Pokemon in some ways. It is sort of like that original Legend of Zelda versus Breath of the Wild. Like, they certainly are related and do similar things, but it's a different scope. It's a different feel. And this one is so much focused around the world and the Pokemon inhabiting the world and researching those Pokemon, which you can say about other Pokemon games, but it does it in a very unique way that I think it like Wes was saying, drops a lot of the systems in favor of more focus on catching and figuring out what these creatures are versus just about the battles. Not that it was always just about the battle, but that's like 90% of the game, right? With most mainline Pokemon
but yeah,
games,
even
so.
filling out the Pokédex, a lot of times, like, it's what you have to get, like, 5 of the items or whatever to complete their
Yeah,
Their entry,
that's
basically.
100% it. Yeah.
their entry. But a lot of them, it's like, yes, you can do that. You can do a fair chunk by battling, but a lot of it is like
Mhm.
capturing,
Mhm.
like, you know, it's like capturing without being seen. How many
Mhm.
Yep.
times do you give them food? You know, like there's a lot of like really, and I have to admit, I actually think that's pretty cool. Like that,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, because like there is kind of like you defaulting down to like just battling, right?
Right. Right.
And it's like, but then it's like, you know, there were entire like there were probably like hours of the game where I would just run around and just capture things.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I wouldn't battle anything
hmm
sometimes.
Mhm.
Like and then
It
I
m-
got introduced to alphas and I was like, oh wow,
this is where my focus is.
this
I-
is what I must do.
I think that it is. Oh gosh, where was I going with that? Something about the uniqueness of this game, and I just lost my thought. I'm so sorry.
I'm
It'll
sorry,
come back.
dude. No,
It'll come back as
that's
soon
on
as someone else
me.
starts talking.
That's on me.
Oh,
Well-
that's what I was going to say. Is of the heart of this game, uh, and about. Oh, that's what it is. It might not always be the most rewarding mechanically. Filling out those Pokedex entries because, watch this Pokemon use ancient power 5 times. Oh, well, that just means I need to catch him and I need to teach him ancient power and then I need to battle him and
or
have him use it.
have it
5
used on
times.
you.
Right.
Which
So
happens
that's
more often than you think.
and that's what the game is trying to do is it's trying to put you in the shoes of someone who is trying to learn. It's like a zoologist going out and viewing animals in their natural habitat and
Mhm.
studying them. That's what it's trying to recreate in the world of Pokemon that I think it does well. There's ways to cheese that if you're just focused on mechanics.
Mhm.
Sure. But I do think I really like the fact that they kind of pulled this apart a little bit more and tried something new. And again, I really like the art style and where you are in the world and stuff like that. All the thing that kind of surrounds it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, I actually really, that's kind of like the part of the game that actually does resonate with me is that it is sort of meaningful. It can be tedious. It can absolutely
Mhm.
be tedious, you know, because sometimes you're just like, ugh, you know, I've got to capture like Wurmple 5 more times.
Mhm.
Stupid.
Use an
cat.
agile style move 20 times.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know.
It's like, it's, ugh.
So agile poison powder,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I was fighting just as a brief aside. What's the twin-tailed fish Pokemon? Wes?
Weasel?
Is it? I don't know. It's
Weasel?
is that
The
what
orange
it
one?
is? I don't know.
Twin-tailed
it's-
fish Pokemon?
Like it has like 2
Goldeen? Vaporeon?
whatever it was. I found an alpha version of that, and I was like
Oh.
fighting that, and it kept basically casting like a heal on itself, and it was doing the agile heal, and it was like I was like
That sounds like a Vaporeon to me. Yep.
I was
Mm.
just like
Mhm.
like rage was building where I was like just go down, you stupid fish. Like I just need your help. Like oh dude. Anyways, with the stupid penguin Pokemon, the alpha, I had him on the
Mm.
anyways. Well, I'll whine about the Pokemon. The Pokeball system makes me mad because it's just like it's like hey, you want RNG to ruin your day, and I'm like no, and they're like too bad. But
That's been a staple of Pokemon since
that's
1998.
from what I
1996.
understand,
Oh my
that's just
goodness,
kind of
yeah.
how Pokemon is. But yeah, no, I actually did like the kind of like the interacting. Like I think like the fact that like the Pokédex and filling out the Pokédex is like such a featured part of the game is really interesting. And it was kind of cool. Like it's super satisfying going back to a campsite and talking to the professor. And it's like, and he's like, hey, here's like all the cool stuff that you learned. And you're like, oh, sick. You know? I
And you
mean,
get rewarded for it,
and you get rewarded for it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what's fun is like I mentioned I was playing this to Parker. Parker was like, hey, I've kind of had my eye on Arceus for a while. He pulled the trigger. You know, he's been playing. He beat it before. Well, he beat it. I did not. But he was like, yeah, this game's like kind of hard. And I'm like, are you raising your star level? And he's like, what? I was like, he's like, I have Pokemon that won't listen to me. And I'm like, I'm like,
And he beat the
I'm
game.
like, I'm like, dude.
Wow.
Like, I mean, well, this is before he beat the game, but he's like,
Oh,
I
okay.
have Pokemon. He's like, I can only control like up to 70 or up to 50, and I have like a couple level 70s, and sometimes they just do whatever they want. I'm like, dude, you gotta do a little bit of research, my guy. You gotta like get out there, like, you know, and but it's like I actually really like that. And it's like really kind of like funny, like when you throw like some food out to a Pokemon and you get like the little like feed Starly, whatever, stupid, whatever, you know, feed Wurmple.
Just
like,
the fact that you're saying Pokemon names is just so surreal to me. I'm just not sure it's a fever dream or not at this point.
dude, like here's the thing. It's like, you know, not to get too like I played all of like 2 hours of like Pokemon Red years ago.
Okay.
I actually don't mind like but it just didn't like it was like when they first came out. It was like I had some younger cousins, they had like a Game Boy, they had Pokemon Red, and I like played it. I was like, ah, cool, move on. Like I was like, this is like Dragon Warrior but lame. Or this is like Final Fantasy but like lame.
Lame or better? Depends on Final Fantasy.
Well, dude, you know that's the era of like 4 and 6, so
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah, back in those days where you like
Well,
this is like
1998? No, that's
Persona
Post
Revelations,
Final
but
Fantasy
lame.
7. Come on.
This is like Persona. This is like Persona 2. Yeah,
This is like Innocent Sin, but lame.
but lame.
Lame and less Hitler.
Lame and way like 100% less Hitler. Demon Hitler. Oh jeez. Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
But it was like, I really there was a lot. I forgot where I was going now.
There was a lot to like about the catching system, I think, because it really focused on something that, like Josh said, it's like it's there in all the games. Like catching is a huge part of it, but there was something about being that researcher, like on the front lines of like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I mean, you know, I've referenced Star Trek. It's like Star Trek, Final Frontier. They're actually going around and cataloging everything and and that's what you feel like. You feel like you're on the frontier where these Pokemon are just going to kill you. Like they don't really care. They're just going to just absolutely just annihilate you. And
well, and to sort of go back to what Josh was saying too, just briefly, is like the style, the aesthetic, and the time, like just the again, like this sort of feudal Japan or sort of like edge of the pre-industrial revolution Japan kind of like aesthetics, sick, super tight. Like, dude, I actually like, it's like, hey, you can have all these different costumes, and like anybody who knows, it's like I do get like I'm a sucker for cosmetics, but I actually just love the uniform design of like you know, Galaxy Team. I'm like, yo, like I think the only thing I did was like, and sometimes I even change it back, but it's like I gave him like one of the knotted headbands with like the two, like because I like those a little bit better, but like he just stays in uniform. I changed his boots because the boots were stupid, like, and I gave him like some like cool ninja shoes. because like Ninja
Just
Shoes
sneak up on all
rule.
those Pokemon. Come on.
Yeah, dude, I was like, I think you're underestimating the sneakiness here, sir. But no, it's like it, and that's the thing is like I'll tell you. So, and I guess sort of where I'm landing with this, Wes, is like there's a bit of a grudging respect here, and I think that it's like there's a
It's
part
more
of
than I
me
expected.
that like I almost like this game, and I said this before, but part of what's I struggle with is that I'm like, you have something that's kind of cool here, but then like there are systems that I'm just like, I mean, dude, like, okay, so the stables, like that's weird. It's
Mhm.
like, it's like, yeah, I'm like, why don't you just let people auto sort and stuff like that? But
Isn't there an auto sort though? I feel like if you go into
no,
the search thing, you should be able to search up like type or organize by number.
I don't know. I'll go
Every
back through.
Pokedex has had that. Like every Pokedex since like Gen 3 has had that as an
But
option where
it's
you can
the
just search and be like
stables.
type.
Stables though are different.
I
That's
mean,
like
I
where
get
all the
it. Yeah.
Pokemon that you capture are kept, and
Mhm.
it doesn't
Well,
order
that's the
them.
same as the Pokemon boxes. They do the same thing in like the regular mainline games. Like they just
And I'm like,
goes in
let
whatever order you capture them in.
let me sort them like by level, by type. But, yeah, anyways,
Josh, pull it up. Let's make sure.
but
I am
I
curious,
think
but yeah, I never used
the
anything
other
like
thing
that.
though is
Yeah.
like that it just even sort of like so it was at first it was kind of interesting because it's like, oh, like there's a spreadsheet for all like the ways that the different types interact. But
Mhm.
then you also get this thing where it's like, okay, so you have a type that it's like it's steel and it's
Mhm.
a dragon. But
Mhm.
then it's got like poison moves, and then you can teach it
Yeah.
water moves. And it's like, I'm just like, dude, there's like sort of a lack of coherency there where it's like,
No, I have to completely disagree with that because there's
dude,
always a lore reason why Pokemon have
but
particular
that's what I'm
moves.
saying is
Yeah.
like, you're saying like, oh, there's a lore reason why. And I'm saying
Uh,
like, but dude, if you're not steeped in the lore, it's just like
yeah.
people would just be
Yeah.
having random moves. Like Infernape. Infernape's great. Love Infernape. Love the
Yeah.
design. Like, and he's a fighting fire monkey. And
Mhm.
most of his moves are either normal, fighting, or fire. And I'm like,
Mhm.
sick. Like, love, Abracadabra. No, I love Alakazam. That's who it is. Alakazam. Like Alakazam, mostly psychic. I'm like, all of his moves are pretty much psychic, and he's got a lightning move and then a bunch of normal stuff. And I'm like, sick. It makes sense. But then you have some that like, I have 4 different types of attack, and I'm like, what are you? What? Like, and it's like, and the attacks that show up, like 2 of them, like, anyway, I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
there's kind of like that's kind of like an incoherent jumble to somebody who like, I get it. You're like, hey, there's a bunch of lore stuff
I
here,
mean,
and
I guess, but I feel like that's so few and far between. I'm just like, I don't know. The only one I could really think of is like what's his name? Beaverell? The big beaver guy. He's the only one
dude,
that can learn multi-type
they're
moves because he's a normal type. So they have the flexibility of learning a
normal
variety.
types. I get,
Yeah.
but there's a freaking flying bug. Oh, daggone it.
There's a couple of
No,
them.
no, there's it's one of the bat Pokemons. Not the first bat, not Zubat. Next one.
Woobat,
Next one.
Golbat,
Golbat.
Golbat.
Golbat
Golbat's
has
great.
4 different moves.
Uh-huh.
Like, and like one of them's flying. Makes sense. He flies. One of them's bug. He's not a freaking bug. He's a bat. Like, why does he
I'm sure
have
he
bug
eats
moves?
bugs. Yeah.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have bug. Like, his attack should be like bug.
But he's a
bug
poison
types.
type.
He's a poison type. Exactly.
Yeah.
So why did? Anyways, I'm just like, I'm getting kind of like off base, but it's like, but then you can teach them moves too. Like, I don't know. It's just like the thing is like, again, it's like the meta is like just kind of like overwrought. Where I'm just like,
Well-
I'm like, you have like 10 different types, and then sometimes you have like fusions, and it's like there's this weird like rock paper scissors, like insane sort of spreadsheet nonsense that you have to engage with to understand any of it. And the only thing that makes any of it bearable is the fact that the game's just like, oh, hey, you're kind of stupid and you don't know what you're doing. So we're going to tell you that one's not effective. That one
Oh
is.
my gosh, yeah.
That one has no effect at all. And
Mhm.
this one's super effective. And I'm like, and that's the only reason I know anything is because if I see the circle and the dot, I know that it's gonna stomp.
If I
on
see super
whatever-
effective, yes.
where it's like all systems go, baby. And it's sad because like there's no incentive for me to actually engage this system on anything more than a completely superficial level.
Mhm.
Now, you, on the other hand, you're steeped in this. Like you
Mhm.
have an encyclopedic knowledge of this nonsense, right? And so you're just like, yeah, this makes sense. I don't even have to think
Mhm.
about it. You probably don't even need the circle and the dot. You don't need, like, stuff is just super effective because, like, that's a bug type Pokemon, and bug type Pokemons are weak to whatever.
Times
But
4
for
weakness
me-
here, times 2 weakness here,
Yeah,
half damage
I'm just
here.
I'm just looking at it going like, eh? And it's just kind of like I said, it's just like it's a little incoherent, it's a little kind of jumbly, and
Mhm.
it's like, and it seems kind of like also a bit of a shame. It's like a missed opportunity, you
Okay.
know. And again, it's not bad.
Mhm.
It's just like I think what it kind of does is like these systems, the gripes that I have, these are things that seem like they're interesting, but then there's no real reason to actually like. There's no real. It's like, you know, even with the Pokemon, like I'm going around capturing alphas, and all I do is I sort of try to make sure that I have a bunch of different bases covered as far as attacks, and then if I get like a better one in that slot, like I have an Earth type, I want to make sure I have a one
Mhm.
that's got Earth and Ground. Right now, it's Steelix, even though he kind of sucks. He was better than the Rhinor I had or whatever, you know? And it's like, even though I like Rhinor's,
Mhm.
is it Rhinor?
No.
Whatever is
Rhyhorn?
Rhinox?
Right on.
Rhyhorn. That's whatever.
Rhyhorn, yeah.
Whatever. It's the second or third step in that evolution or whatever.
Okay.
Like, I like his design better, but Steelix has better stats and a better
Mhm.
moveset. So, you know, out the door we go. And
Mhm.
it's like, I don't know, man. It's just, anyways, that's like,
Okay.
that's my
I'll throw you a
soapbox.
bone here. I'm
gonna stop like complaining about why Pokemon is just bad Persona.
No. Let me riff off this. It's pretty interesting. So I'll throw you a bone here. Yes, I will say that there is a little bit of inconsistency between the move types and the Pokemon types and everything. The thing is that they tried to keep things consistent in terms of like where they started with Pokemon. So like in the Red and Blue days or the Gold and Silver days, they were just, throwing out mechanics, throwing out moves and everything here and there, figuring out the typing such. Like they added 2 new typings into Gen 2 that weren't in Gen 1. So they had to like reconfigure everything in that. And then when they got to Gen 6, they had to add another typing and that retroactively changed the typing of previous Pokemon. So I get it. Like it is confusing and there's probably still a lot of that leftover, like, I don't know, leftover tradition basically that's just brought to the modern day. Totally get that. That being said, I looked up Golbat's move. Leech Life is a bug type. That's the only bug type move that it actually learns. It's a vampire bat. Come on. Vampire bat. Leech Life.
But it's a
Vampire
bug type
bat.
move. That's what I'm
But
saying.
he's a vampire.
No. Like, dude,
He's
you're
leeching
like,
life. He's sucking blood.
I think he also has a grass type move.
Not according to this.
What's his move set? I know that he has like he's one of the
learning
ones
by
that I
level
have
up,
that has
he
4.
gets Gust, which is a flying type.
That's
Hypnosis, which is a psychic type, which is a
Psychic
vampire.
is
It's a
so
vampire. It's a vampire.
that okay.
It's a vampire.
I'll give you that. But it's like, okay, but he's got 4 types of moves. He's
Yeah.
2 types. At most, I can see you going 3. Like, I'll give you 3. But like the 4, like, don't get me wrong, I use him because he rules.
Yeah,
Like, he lets me cover 4 bases. Like, I'm like sick. But like, or even like yeah, it's like, but and there's the whole dark and everything. I'm just like, dude, even like dark. I'm like, why?
But bite is a dark attack. He has big teeth.
Bite
He's got a
should
bite.
be a
He's got a bite.
general attack.
Yeah. It
used to be a
dark
normal
is a
type attack.
retcon.
It
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
it should still be a freak. Like,
Mhm.
they can all bite.
Yeah.
Unless
So-
it doesn't have a mouth.
I think
got big
I
ones.
have a little bit of an answer for
Unless it's
you
Magikarp.
as
true.
to why you can have these so many different types for a single Pokemon, because this is not even getting into, like you said, the moves that you can teach your Pokemon as well,
Mhm.
which they may or may not be able to learn. And by comparison to the earlier Shin Megami Tensei monster battling game, in Shin Megami Tensei, you only keep a demon in your roster until you find a better one, and then you kick the other one to the curb. That's just by nature. The games are brutal games,
Persona.
and you have to have the strongest. Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
similar to Persona. Pokemon is very different in that they want you to effectively, this sounds very shonen, but create a bond with your Pokemon.
Mhm.
They want you to like the Pokemon in your team, not just like what they can do for you, but like
I'm not
actually
naming them.
like what's that?
I'm not naming them.
That's
No,
the
Okay,
first
well,
wrong
but-
step. You got to nickname them.
But
No,
see that's what
no.
they're trying to do is like,
I'm
oh, you know what? I like, for some reason I like fish, and so I want this fish on my team. Well, that fish might not be the most effective fighter, but you can find ways
especially
around
if
it.
it's
Yeah.
a Magikarp.
Well,
Especially.
certainly not Magikarp,
Mhm.
but even something like a Starmie, it's just a cool Pokemon,
Mhm.
and so I want to keep it around. It might not be I don't know. It might actually be, because isn't it now Psychic type too?
Mhm.
But regardless, or was it always? I don't know.
It was
I
always
don't-
Psychic
I
Water.
don't
Yeah.
recall.
Mhm.
Okay. But anyways, the point is that the since the beginning, one of the core tenets of Pokemon, and you see this in the anime with Pikachu and Ash.
It's in the very first game as
Pikachu's
well.
not a very strong Pokemon. It's fast. That's about it. Now, I'm not competitive, so maybe Wes, you can correct me.
Oh no, he's garbage.
But
Always garbage.
he is not in the higher tiers, but he's the face of Pokemon because of the anime, because he's a cute mascot character. And that's kind of what they want you to do, is to be able to latch on to your team of 6 Pokemon. Say, these are mine. Yeah, name them whatever you want to. They've been by your side. Level them up. Teach them different moves so they can be they can bend the rules, and you can learn all different kinds of moves. And I assume on the back end, it's not going to be as effective if it's not their type. I'm sure there's some back end stuff there. But I think it has to do with that. I think it has to do with the way that Pokemon works as a franchise. Is you want to keep your characters around.
Which they've also built into the mechanics over time, because going all the way into like the Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu games, they actually made the affection. Well, I mean, they did this back in like the second generation as well, where the affection that you show a Pokemon, not letting it die, making sure it's healed a lot, and making sure that you use it in battle, will actually raise over time, and your Pokemon will start to like you and love you even more,
Well,
and that will
and
actually
that's-
affect the battles.
like those systems, and that's part of it. Is like some of those systems are in this game,
but they're
but
not
they
all
don't
there.
really.
Yeah.
They don't have and they don't really have any bearing.
Mhm.
Like it's not like it's the like. Does my Pokemon perform better because he likes me?
Mhm.
Not that I can notice. Like,
There are
it's
some
just
that
like,
perform better when you hate them, actually.
Oh, wow.
um,
Mhm.
yeah, I just kind of I don't know. Like, we don't have to get to it. Like, we're already like an hour into this, and we just like ranting about the meta and all the
Mhm.
like. It's one of those things where it's like there were times, especially for somebody like me who is very systems oriented. Like, I could look at these systems and like they're kind of a mess. There's like something interesting there, but like unfortunately, it's like there are some really great hooks. Like I said, I go back to the fact that like it's really compelling to like run around and capture Pokemon and try to interact with them in different ways to fill out your Pokédex. Like that is way more compelling than it actually should be.
Mhm.
Like
Especially when you can fly.
You know what? I'll get the stupid flying.
Yeah.
The most
I'll roll
American,
credit.
the most
I will
American
make-
Pokemon ever.
You're,
Braviary.
yeah, you're making fun of Wes, but it's literally your fault because you didn't finish the game.
Shut up. Like the fact that
Literally
I played this at all,
unmissable.
the fact that I played this at all should silence you fools.
No, I'm just saying you're making fun of Wes, but it's because you didn't actually do the thing you set out to do.
Dude, the fact that I'm
That's all.
playing this at all, again, I
Yes.
Exhibit A, I'm playing the game. Like
Yeah.
I played a lot of the game, you know, and I played it deeply.
Yeah.
So back off, bro.
But you didn't nickname your Perugly. Come on. That's the whole problem here. You did not nickname your
It
Perugly.
is such a dumb look, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so like just brief aside.
You should name it Stupid Face then. That's what
the
all the 8-year-olds
briefest
do.
of aside. I don't want to keep it in my party. I'm going to change it out for Ghastly, even though I think Ghastly's stat line right now is actually
Hopefully
worse
you
than
make a fart
Perugly's.
joke with Ghastly. I mean, that's what you have to do.
I mean,
Dude,
if
come
if
on.
I was going to nickname him, yes, but I'm not going
Come
to
on.
because, but, just a briefest of asides. Some Pokemon designs are so cool and so iconic, and just like half of like Pikachu's appeal is like he's super cute, super clean lines, super tight design,
Mhm.
really good looking Pokemon, right?
Mhm.
And then you got trash like butt ugly, like dude, that is a dumb.
Like
It
Grubbish?
looks like
Or Trubbish. Trubbish,
a
that's what it's called.
genetically challenged, obese.
But some of them are
radicalized
genetically
Meowth.
challenged.
Like, dude, it's terrible. It's such a bad I'm like, dude, its first form looks actually fine. Like it's kind of like it's like, but then its
Meowth,
second
you know.
form with its like weird whiskers and like goofy tail, and it's like fat and purple. I'm like, dude, this thing sucks. And the only reason I keep it around is because it's got a few moves that I need.
Wait,
Like,
Alolan Persian's in this game?
I guess I don't know.
Persian? Yeah.
I guess.
That's an Alolan Persian. He's not even supposed to be in Arceus. Okay. Anyway. Carry on. I know
But-
exactly who you're talking about, but
Like its first form is cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
But like then you get it's like it's the Perugly, and I'm like, why?
like, that's not
who-
Meowth. What are you talking about? Okay.
No, I was just
Perugly.
saying it.
Okay.
Perugly looks
Okay,
like
I
a
heard Meowth, I'm
genetically
like,
challenged,
Meowth, yeah.
overweight Meowth.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
with weird. Yeah. Anyways, it's just like I don't know, man. Like that's the thing is like sometimes like some of these are like really cool. Like that is the one thing about like Pokemon, like that kind of keeps you going. It's like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, some of these are really sick looking. Like,
See, had
dude-
you seen the Viking Meowth, you'd been all in on this game.
Maybe I don't know.
He's got a sweet beard.
Sick,
Mhm.
dude. I mean, Vikings kind of rule.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, I they're like Pokemon I'm capturing that like I like the Motham and what's the butter? What's the
Motham?
butter?
Mhm.
Beauty
Beautifly?
or
Mhm.
yeah. Like I captured those and I was like, yeah, these are kind of cool looking.
Mhm.
But like Perugly just sucks.
How many Burmies have you caught though?
Lots.
Freaking hate Burmy.
Dude, and there's like and then you find what's the next step in that worm
It's-
something
Yeah, Wormadom.
yeah Wormadum yeah
Wormadom.
dude it's
Yeah,
like
Wormadom, yeah. If you had to nickname a Pokemon, Wormadom would be good.
they'd just be like they're like, listen, we know this Pokemon sucks, we're just gonna like name it something stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know,
And yet,
man.
that's got to be somebody's favorite Pokemon. So, you know,
That person sucks and I don't want to know them.
I'm sure they're probably 6 instead of 8, you know.
But dude, I don't know. Like, I think least favorite Pokemon is like Wurmple. It just sucks. He just sucks, man. And Cascoon and
Cascoon.
what's the other?
Silcoon, yeah.
They kind of suck too.
Hmm.
I don't know. And what's the ghost Pokemon that is like in every map? It shows up at night. Kind of looks like a floating octopus thing. Kind of sucks. Driftly.
Oh, Drifloon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Drifloon?
Drifloon and Drifloon, yeah. Mhm. The balloon
Yeah.
type, who has a crazy lore like thing.
Dude, like, see,
It's
okay,
all the
right
lore.
there.
That's the thing, yeah.
You
It's
could
all
get
the
like
lore.
a legendary Drifloon or whatever,
Mhm.
and he could tentacle swing through all sorts of cool stuff, and it'd be sick. So like right there,
Or you could fly. Just saying.
dude. Yes, flying is cool, but you know what? Like, is way cooler in some ways. Grappling hooking, like hook shotting everywhere, dude. I'm so flustered with this nonsense. You're like, you went cool flying. Sure,
I mean,
sure.
you
Flying
just
is
missed
cool.
25% of the game. I get it, you know. I get it.
Dude, like, again, you're lucky I'm even playing it. Back off.
Yes. I acknowledge it. I hear you. I accept it.
It doesn't matter if you accept it or not. Like, it is what it is.
It's okay.
Dude.
You're allowed to be wrong. It's all right. I
No,
get it.
I'm the only sane person on this podcast right now. Anyways, I'm just like, it's like there's a lot to enjoy here, and like I've even said, like I'm gonna lend this out to some friends, I think, for long term, because their little boy is into Pokemon right now.
It just always sounds like a backhanded compliment. Just like,
Long
oh, yeah,
term.
just some little kids, they're like 5. They don't actually have any discernible taste in art and media,
No,
and gaming and everything.
He's like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in between bouts of Fortnite, I'll let him play Pokemon.
Kid loved Breath of the Wild, so I mean his taste is questionable. But he's into Pokemon, but it's like, and again, it's a lot of that, like, I'm just not the right demographic. And if Byron ever
Right,
wants
yeah.
to get into it, like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. It's like, so hey, I guess, like, all that being said, like, before we sort of get into the really spoilery bits, like, the fact is, like, you brought this to me,
Mhm.
and I didn't hate it. So
Well done.
It's the best compliment I could have ever received,
like, that's I mean, like,
or could have ever expected to receive, I should say.
I think this is about the best possible outcome for you.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, come on. At least I didn't suggest a Digimon game. Come on.
Actually, that new Digimon game sounds kind of sick.
Okay, it does sound pretty good, but like I didn't suggest a Digimon game. Come on. You want to talk about obtuse? You want to talk about like terrible designs? Come on.
Dude, are you kidding?
Things that don't make
some
sense.
of the Digimon designs, man. Like,
Well, yeah, some of them are great, but like they
some
don't
of
make
them are-
any coherent sense. How does
some of them are just
puppy
absolute
dog go
butts.
to a cat,
That, like,
go to an
here's the thing
angel?
that-
Like, come on. How does a pig with wings go to an angel?
Digimon, it's just the rule of cool, bud. That's it. Like, and I'm a sucker for that. It's like, hey, you know what would be cool? We turn this wolf into a giant metal cyborg wolf, and I'm like, yeah, that
With
is actually
guns
pretty sick.
everywhere.
He's gonna have like spikes coming out of all sorts of places. Yeah. Okay. Sick,
I
dude.
mean, I love Digimon, but come on.
Anyways, but yeah. So it's like, I guess sort of like in the non-spoiler stuff, like, we sort of talked about some of the mechanics and some of the back and forth there.
All of them.
I mean, dude, honestly though, this isn't like a super mechanically deep game. I mean, like, it is like there's the sneaking up on the Pokemons, which is like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, I think like there's like the cover system, like, and getting like smoke bombs and stuff like that. Like, at first I was like, I'm not engaging with any of this stupidity. But then, like, again, I came across the alphas and I'm like, oh no, I want them. Like, those are the ones I want. Like, I see those red eyes and I'm like, nope, you belong in my stables. Like,
somewhere lost in the stables.
I have 2 shinies, by the way, and the shinies are not that impressive.
Which ones?
Ponyta, because it's a guaranteed.
Oh yeah, Ponyta.
And I have a Drifloon, a shiny Drifloon.
Oh, I love Drifloon. Yeah.
So
his design's terrible, but he's great shiny. I mean, come on.
He's yellow. That's it.
He's like a yellow balloon. All the better for sneaking kids and pulling them away. Yeah.
I guess.
The whole reason behind him is that kids grab onto it thinking it's a balloon and they get pulled and then they die. That's the whole lore reason behind it.
Yeah, that actually
it's based on like Japanese,
it's
based on like Japanese folklore and such.
See,
all the different yokai.
You should have led with that. I
could literally probably write an essay about every single Pokemon and why they make sense.
Please don't.
Even the garbage.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. But anyways, so we've kind of talked like the non-spoilery bits, but apparently there is more to this game than just like some half-baked mechanics and some really almost cool stuff.
There's a lot being loaded into this.
Yeah, dude, you want, like, listen, I'm gonna backhand compliment the mess out of this nonsense. But one of the things you said to me, I guess sort of going on here, like sort of moving on, and Josh, we like, unless you have anything else that you want to add to the non-spoilery section, we probably
good.
need to actually talk a little bit about the story here.
Ah.
And Wes, I didn't even know there was a story for a while. I thought it was like, I was like, and then you guys like, there's a story? It was like, you guys are like, oh no, yeah, there's a story. And then, oh, you should watch the true ending. And I'm like, what? There's a story?
It's a JRPG? What?
What? You fight God? And basically, yes, you do. Spoilers.
You're right. Before we get there, we do need to have the official spoiler warning. So if you're interested in playing the game and the story that it tells, get out of here. Don't keep listening. Come back and like
get out of here. I don't love you anymore.
Okay.
I'm not
All
sure where
right.
that came from at all, but okay.
I feel like that was on like an old movie where like a kid was like yelling at a dog.
Old Yeller?
Oh
I don't
no!
think it's Old Yeller.
My dog
Old
Skip.
Yeller. Yeah,
My dog
Oh,
Skip.
okay.
That's what it is. It was Frankie Muniz yelling at his dog. He did say, "I don't love you anymore." Yeah.
You're
Deep
welcome,
cut. Deep
Dang.
cut.
dude. See, I know what I'm
Totally
about.
own that movie on VHS. Anyways, so spoilers for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
So kicking this off though, Wes, you and when we were sort of talking offline, and you were saying like it's been super interesting sort of seeing somebody like me who has little to no sort of experience with Pokemon sort of jump in, right, and sort of dig around in this, and you're kind of like, and again, it's that sort of the contextualizing, like that water is wet, and that you've just been swimming in it for a long time, and I'm sort of like, thrashing around here. You're like, it's not that bad, and I'm like, no, dude, this is insane. But like the reality is like there's a lot of like Pokemon lore that actually makes this game really, really relevant. And so let's, as you know, we're already an hour into this. But let's try to make this a little, what are the important beats here, like in playing this game lore wise, and what are some of the narrative and thematic elements that we need to be pulling out?
Okay, so I won't like go as shoulder deep into the cosmology as I would have preferred, and I know I wrote up a lot, but that was mostly because I had
Turn it
forgotten a
into
lot.
a bite size, dude.
Yeah, maybe I will. But that was mostly just to remind me of like, oh yeah, there's a lot going on here, because sometimes it's really easy to forget. So the big thing that you need to remember about Pokemon Legends Arceus is that it is very deeply connected to the Diamond and Pearl and Platinum games that were released on the Nintendo DS, which were the first Nintendo DS games that were released. So that
What
is
gen were those?
That's 4th gen. So right
Okay.
after Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and right before Black and White. So that was like the first foray into a more of a 3D-ish type environment. It's kind of got those faux 3D pixels and everything. It's a really beautiful set of games. And that one was mostly focused on like space and time as their big giant themes. Like you have Palkia, who's the Lord of Space, and Dialga. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up because it's really late as well. So a Dialga, who's the Lord of Time. And then you have Arceus, who's like the god of like the entire Pokemon universe. And that's when it was like really, that's like the first time in Pokemon history where they actually like went into the origins of the universe just a slight bit, like not too much, because it was still a Nintendo game in the early 2000s. Like, what was that released? It was still, released during President Bush's presidency. So, you still kind of had to be a little careful about what you like inserted like religious wise into like Nintendo games. And they were super sensitive about that. But what was interesting is that you had those games and they weren't really like the best generations ever. Like not a lot of people liked them, but since they've already released like Fire Red or Red and Blue, they've already had remakes for those multiple times. They had remakes of Gold and Silver, which is Gen 2. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were remakes of Generation 3. They needed to have some kind of remakes for Generation 4. So that's when the 2 Switch games came out. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I think is what they were called. I
Mhm.
can't remember.
Mhm.
Again, names are escaping me right now. It's past midnight. So they released those kind of in anticipation to this game, just kind of like delving back into the lore a little bit so you can kind of get prepared for when Legends Arceus came out. Probably also so you can collect some Pokemon to bring over so you don't actually have to, do what normal people would do. And, full disclosure, when it came to actually collecting all the Pokemon, I actually just brought them all over from Pokemon Bank because I had them all already. So I just kind of brought them over to Legends
Nice.
Arceus, and I was just like, I don't have to catch anything. That's why I was able to beat the game in less than 30 hours. So you didn't have that, Nate. I get it. But
Even there, something like that would
something
have
like
been
it would've
very
been helpful, yeah.
helpful.
Mhm.
Like insert the Adam Sandler, this information would have been very helpful.
So, long story short, just a couple years ago, right about the time when Legends Arceus was being released, there was this big Nintendo data leak that started leaking some stuff about Pokemon. That's where we got some like the beta stuff for the designs for like Gen 1 and Gen 2. And then just last year, we actually got what's referred to as the Terra leak, which was like 3 terabytes of data that were taken from Nintendo hard drives. And within that was like basically they just dumped the entire lore of Pokemon. Like just it's just there. Like they have all of these like ancient like tales of different Pokemon and how they interacted with the humans around the time that Arceus came out, so that you can kind of see that development of, completely like uncivilized Pokemon world versus a civilized Pokemon world. It's like almost like biblical text for Pokemon, which is kind of crazy to think about. There's even diagrams and charts and everything that actually explain the entire like angelic and process of like how Arceus created these different beings, and then they became those different beings and everything, like the different legendary Pokemons, like Pokemon. Oh my gosh, did I say Pokemons? Wow, it's getting late. Different legendary Pokemon. So
2 hours later.
yeah. So anyway, just to kind of like shore that up a little bit. Yes, Arceus is the god of Pokemon. He's got all these like offshoot pieces of him. It kind of reminds me of like those old, I don't remember, those old like mythologies where it's like the body of the god becomes the different like the land and the sky and all that. And it's just like that's basically what they're going with Arceus. But the difference, I think, and this is one of those things I had a little bit of issues with what you were saying on the document, Josh, is that you kind of like put Arceus as this like completely uninvolved, like demiurge type figure and everything. And I'm just like, I'm not sure that's exactly the best way to describe Arceus, because he does seem like he's actually like actively involved
Mhm.
in his creation, so to speak. And it's really hard to speak about this without sounding completely blasphemous, but it's just like I'm trying to enter into the type of worldview that they're putting into. So,
Yeah.
it does sound a little bit blasphemous because it's like, well, he's like a benevolent God, and he's actually like getting involved in his creation to the point where some of the time travel aspects of the story are kind of a little weird because you have all the paradox Pokemon kind of jumping up in wormholes and everything, which is something that they actually continued with in Scarlet and Violet, actually, which is kind of cool. They do
Okay.
kind of have some stuff popping up there. But I feel like
Paradox
the whole
Pokemon, like hold on, like take a beat there. What are the paradox Pokemon?
in Scarlet and Violet, there are these Pokemon that are like they're entering into this particular like okay, so in Scarlet and Violet you have this whole region, and like the very center of the region is completely blank, like nobody actually knows what's going on in the center of the region, so the region looks like a big giant donut. Just roll with me on that one. And it's called Area Zero. Now within Area Zero there were a lot of like time travel experiments happening, and so what happened is that a lot of Pokemon were either like pulled in from the ancient past, and those are like the ancient paradox Pokemon, or they're pulled in from the very distant future. So you have different types of Pokemon that are like they're either like super like prehistoric looking, or they're super futuristic looking. So like Donphan, for example. Is Donphan in this game? I can't remember. Are you familiar with Donphan, the elephant looking guy?
Oh, I've seen
that
him,
I
but
can
I don't
think of.
think I
Yeah,
don't
he's in the
recall
first
seeing him
movie.
in
He's
this
a
one.
big like gray and black elephant. Donphan, Donphan. Anyway, or is that the pre-evolution? No, that's Donphan. So there's like the prehistoric version of Donphan, which has like huge tusks. I think he's actually called like Iron Tusks. But then the future paradox Pokemon, which shouldn't exist, is like
Great
Steel Tusk or
Tuscan
something.
Iron Treads.
Great Texan. Okay, so like there's different paradox versions of the Pokemon. So that's what Scarlet and Violet kind of went with. And in
Okay.
this game, it feels like they're connected in some way because there are these like futuristic like wormholes that show up from time to time, which actually draws future Pokemon into the past that actually shouldn't exist because they're more technological Pokemon, like Porygon and any of like the steel types that are based on machinery and everything, they're pulled into the past. You can actually collect them. So there's those types of time travel aspects that seem a
Yeah, I
little
have a
bit.
Porygon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bit wonky, but I feel like what they're kind of going with the protagonists from the Diamond and Pearl era, and I can't remember if they actually confirmed that it's the protagonist from Diamond and Pearl, or if it's like another character who looks exactly like the protagonist. I don't know where they landed on with that, but the basic idea is that that main character from the Diamond and Pearl games is the one that's pulled into the past, and is actually the one that Arceus chooses in order to fulfill this. I don't want to call it like a Great Commission type thing because it's not really, but it's like this mission that you're supposed to be fulfilling is the harmonization of like human and Pokemon kind together so that it can lead to more like a benevolent future, which is something that's also focused on in Pokemon Platinum, which is the third version of the Pokemon games, which has some expanded storyline stuff. And that's where Giratina is really introduced as like the antithesis to Arceus and is the Pokemon that like Giratina is functionally like the Satan or Lucifer of this Pokemon mythos. And Arceus actually banished it to a completely different realm because it's considered to be like the shadow version of Arceus in a way. And so that's why, like, at the end, a particular character, and I guess I can just say it because I think you've already
Yep,
spoiled this
in
for
the
yourself,
spoiler
Nate, but
section.
Volo, he has a heel turn, which I would say was kind of choreographed a little bit earlier on because I feel like I've interacted with him enough times and he did seem a bit sinister from time to time and how he was talking. But he has this heel turn and he wants to basically reach out to the divine, to Arceus, and try to figure out like basically what's the meaning of life? Where does Arceus, like, why is Arceus all powerful and everything? And as he's trying to summon Arceus using all those different plates and everything, he actually brings in Giratina. And that's what sets him off to be like, oh, well, then if I can't, meet God, then I'm going to basically kill God. And that's, he turns into a very like edgy atheist at that point, and it's kind of funny actually with that in mind. And so you have to fight Volo, and then that's where the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia come in, and blah 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 blah. There's a big battle, and it's really hard. It's a really hard battle. It's actually probably one of the hardest Pokemon battles I've ever had in any game, period.
Oh wow.
Because he's got Pokemon in like the 70s or something. I can't remember. Did you beat him, Josh?
No.
Okay, so
I
you
didn't-
didn't even
yeah.
fight him. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay, it was really hard. I probably reset the game like 25 times. Like it was
Wow.
ridiculous
Yeah.
trying to fight him. What's interesting is that his team actually reflects. There's a character in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl named Cynthia, and she's like the Pokemon champion at that time. Basically, like it's pretty much all but confirmed that he's like the ancestor to Cynthia and everything. And he has
Okay.
the exact same Pokemon team, which is kind of funny. And they're just started in Gen 4 as they were in this game as well. So, gosh, I don't even know where to go from there. But you fight him, and then Arceus reaches out to you and tells you to collect all the Pokemon. You collect all the Pokemon, and then you get to actually meet Arceus, and he exchanges words for you. You get to quell Arceus. You actually get to fight Arceus in that kind of what are they called? Titan Pokemon? No, they're not called Titan Pokemon. That's Scarlet and Violet. But it's like the big Pokemon battles that you're used to with all the other Titans.
Yeah.
And by the end of that time, Arceus accepts you and gives you like a piece of himself, as it were, with the legend plate, and so that you've completed all the plate collections and allows you to have
at
like
that
a
point in
copy.
time, summon him, or summon a copy of him,
Yeah, and that's actually built into the lore itself because like he can actually create exact copies of himself, and that's basically what they're going with that. And so you can actually take Arceus, and then Arceus by the end, he says, like, basically, the world is for you to go keep harmonizing Pokemon. I want to see the world through your eyes, that sort of thing. So he's kind of imparting his image onto the player, which I thought, okay, there's some interesting Christological parallels, shaky as they are, between that whole thing. So to answer what I noticed in the document, Josh, a very long-winded answer, I don't think he is like this kind of like hands-off type god. I don't think he's like just kind of letting the universe in motion and that's it. He's like actually working towards the purpose of like taking care of his people and actually making sure that Pokemon and humans alike are actually living in harmony and working towards coexistence and great abundance and peace, basically. So, which seems like a very different way for a Japanese company to be telling us, like a different type of story for a Japanese company to be telling a story about, because it seems very different from like the traditional JRPGs where you actually had to have, oh, we got to go kill God.
Mhm.
Okay, great. It's, super
But
edgy and
it's
super cool, I guess. I don't know.
it is kind of funny because it is just leaning into that trope in a way. Like it's
Mhm.
subverting the trope. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is kind of fun. Like I gotta admit, like I'm like, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
okay, I see you, Pokemans.
Yeah.
I see you
So,
trying to kill God,
but not exactly,
but
because
not
that's what the
exactly.
villain character is supposed to, or is trying to do. Once he
Right.
realizes
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his understanding of God is completely skewed and warped and everything, and he just wants the power. He doesn't actually want to, like,
He wants to
you know,
remake reality in his own image.
yes, basically. So I don't know. Very long-winded lore explanation, but I think it's actually, I don't know, it's kind of cool how they subvert that a little bit. Like I like how you said that they subvert it, because Pokemon has always been more of a peaceful game. Like it's always
Mm.
encouraged making friends with your Pokemon rather than just treating them as tools. Like that's like the conflict from the very first game.
And
Mhm.
even the antagonists in the Pokemon games are typically referred to as rivals.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
there's
not
that
the
element
bad
of like,
guys,
yeah,
but
yeah, they're not villains per
mhm,
se. You know, there are like villainous. Like I know in the anime there was Team Rocket, and they were
mhm.
always trying to steal Ash's Pokemans.
Right.
Um, yeah.
But even they are portrayed as pretty inept. And thinking about this game in particular, like you have the different rival factions, you have the different characters who seem like they're the villains, like straight off and everything. But they do eventually come to some kind of begrudging agreement, even if it's not a complete agreement. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to work together for this common goal because, our, town's being ransacked. We're dealing with all these Pokemon
Mm.
issues. This protagonist, we're going to kick him out because he seems to be the reason that we're experiencing all these things. So you're kind of in exile as well. And I think they definitely, while there is no clear cut villain, like there is one by the end, but it's not necessarily who you think. And so, and they've been doing that a lot with recent Pokemon games, because a lot of the villain teams are redeemable, I guess, in that sense. And they tend to be redeemed by the end, like with very few exceptions these days, which, could be a hit or miss depending on what kind of story you're trying to tell. But I think for this one, when the goal is like coexistence, peace, harmony, that sort of thing, I think that's kind of what was needed for this game, especially since you're going from this like savage world into a civilization that you are building.
Mm.
And there's even like some disagreement over whether the protagonist ever actually goes back to their own time or whether they actually stay in the Pokemon world at that time.
Sure.
And that's the reason why it is at that point in the future. So putting a twist on the predestination paradox.
Mm.
I guess what's kind of interesting though too is like, so now that we're kind of drawing some of the lines, like Pearl and
Mhm.
Diamond, those are names of the game. Those are
Mhm.
actually the two clans.
Mhm.
It's like the fact that there's the protagonists, or the male and female protagonists, are the
Mhm.
same as essentially almost design wise, beat for beat,
Completely.
the fourth
Mhm.
gen protag.
Mhm.
Like the connection, like even looking at what's the champion from Pearl and
Cynthia.
Diamond,
Mhm.
Cynthia, looking at her, Volo and her, sort of, especially with, like, I looked at the Volo revealed picture or
Mhm.
whatever, like when he sort of like, decides to not be the traitor dude, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so like that actually does like sort of make the game like a little more compelling, even like sort of having like some like basically like rough information on
Mhm.
my end for that. It's pretty cool.
Which again, going back to what I mentioned at the beginning, like it is just absolutely fascinating going through this, knowing that you have like no idea of any of this. Like you
Yeah.
like the concept of even time travel in Pokemon, you're probably just like, what? They have time travel in Pokemon? And that's something that's been around since Gen 2. Like they've had time
Yeah.
travel. They've
Hmm.
had an entire movie where, spoilers, for the fourth movie, I think it's the fourth movie, where there's this kid that somehow enters the future, like where Ash and everyone is, and it's the Celebi movie, so it's a Gen 2 movie. So there's this kid that comes from the past and comes to the future, to where Ash and everybody is, has an adventure with Ash, and eventually goes back. And then by the end, you actually find out that it's actually Professor Oak the entire time, who Ash was like actually like interacting with. And that was the
Hanging
whole
out with.
cause of why he's like, oh, I'm going to start this Pokedex thing. I'm actually going to be working. And like, he actually has knowledge of Ash the entire time. And that's why he actually is like helping him in his journey, even though he's a complete idiot, basically, the entire
Ash
time.
is a chump. He's
Ash
a
is a
chump.
complete chump. Yes.
He
Gary said it
sucks.
best. Ash is a loser. So there's all that stuff that I take for granted because that stuff was around in 1998 and 1999 when I was into the franchise. It's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like
Yeah,
it
and
really ties in nicely.
it's kind of wild to me too that like you have basically been playing these games for over 25 years, almost 30 years. Dude, that is nuts. Like
Yep.
I thought it was like insane when Destiny and Destiny 2 was like, we have this 10-year scope for this game. And it's like, and it's everybody's like, oh, that is insane. But it's like Pokemon has just kind of been doing that in a way where it's like, it's just kind of been telling the same story or like in a way for the last 30 freaking years. That's nuts.
Yeah. And I
And when,
think
like when I
or
well, and
go
I
ahead.
guess I was gonna say when I heard that Arceus was actually like canon, like, and that's the thing is like, who's it's Nintendo and is it
Game
Creature Lab?
Freak,
Game Freak. Okay,
Pokemon Company, all that.
yeah, they're like, no, Arceus is canon. This isn't a side project. Arceus is canon. I'm going like, what? Like this is weird. Like this is a mainline game for them. And I think even with ZA, like it sort of shows that like they're trying to sort of kind of reinvigorate the franchise, because I think like one of the big things is like just a lot of the fan base has complained that the games have gotten very samey, and they're looking for ways to differentiate those. But yeah, like the lore beats that actually, like I can see that, like, hey, that actually makes it I mean it makes it interesting on a cursory level for me. And I can only imagine for somebody who's like way more invested in the lore and sort of all the notes, like how much of like almost like this game is like just screams with fan service, you know? Like it wasn't until I Googled pictures and it's like, oh yeah, 4th gen protagonists. That's essentially
Absolutely
you
spot on.
and the girl. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
So,
and it's like even going along with what you're saying, like telling the same kind of story, or it's telling the same story. I would just say that it's like they have thematically tried to keep up the same type of themes every single game, and of course they have to learn and grow and introduce new things and take away things that aren't working and everything and polish as they go. And of course they make lots of missteps. I would say that for a good chunk of like Sword and Shield, like the last 20% of the game, complete misstep. They just totally dropped the ball on that game and just did not deliver a good polished product. With Scarlet and Violet, it took them years to get the Switch patches out, or Switch 2 patches out, so the game actually runs like a proper game.
I don't
Like,
know that if we've ever talked about it. If we specifically, I've talked about it with other people, but like a lot of these Switch games, like Arceus ran pretty poorly on base model Switch, from what I understand. Had a lot of like rendering problems, draw distance, like all sorts of stuff, a lot of chugging. And it, for the most part, runs really well. There are some weird stutters. Like the one I noticed the most is when you're in town and that one guy who's like posted up by the entrance to the headquarters building, he has a it's not Motham, it's toxic dust tox. And sometimes when you're walking towards that, there's like a port where like it gets like real like framey and weird, and then when you get close enough, it's like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to behave.
It almost looks like from a distance it's like stop motion, and then when you get closer it's like, oh, it's smoothed out. Okay. Which drove me nuts too. Like, I'm never a graphics guy, but I'm just like, this is terrible. Like, come on.
But a lot of those games, I think, were actually like this just goes to like support, I think, the idea that we were actually supposed to have the Switch 2 a lot sooner, like, and that these games were built for the Switch 2, and it hasn't, like, anyways. So
Well, and I would also say like they try to plan these things out like years and years in advance.
Yeah.
So it's like Pokemon Arceus was probably like they probably were already starting to work on that in like 2015, 2016, just laying the groundwork of that. And it didn't even come out until like what, 2022 or something like
Yeah.
that. Like they lay the groundwork really early on. I think the part of the problem, especially with new people getting into the Pokemon franchise, is the fact that it has to be this yearly output. And they have just now started to get to the point where they're starting to slow down on that. But there was a good chunk of time, like 10 to 15 years, where they had a new type of game every single year. And you can only stretch your resources out so far while still staying like a budget title for it to still be considered like a decent quality game. It's like they just can't, they don't have the time to do it. Like, I got to imagine that the workers are completely like
Yeah.
stressed beyond belief because they're working on this 24/7. They try to keep it at a really, really low budget, which I think is good and works in their favor for a lot of times. Like I think I sent Josh this link, but it sounded like Pokemon Legends EA was made for only like 12 to 15 million dollars. That's it, which is like considered a budget title, like a total budget title. And yet they're, they're charging full price. Well, they're not charging full price for it, but they're charging, almost full price for it. It's like $80, it's $70. But they could
Yeah.
totally
I
charge
mean,
80
that's
and
that's
like
the still debate. That's the baseline. Yeah. No.
right, and it's still $60 on regular Switch. So it's just like I think they've just gotten to the point where they're starting to take a step back and realize like we cannot keep up these yearly releases all the time. I feel like that just led to a string of really poor quality games in a lot of different ways, like with Sword and Shield all the way to Scarlet and Violet. I think they're finally starting to learn from their mistakes. So as they go forward, I think they're going to start making more interesting games. I mean, just looking at going back to the big Terra Lake and everything, they actually have all of the plans for the next 5 years of Pokemon already like detailed out in these designs, like with screenshots and everything. Like they got everything. They already have Gen 10 like all figured out. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I've seen the leak screenshots. It like looks unbelievable. I'm not going to get into that, but like I can send you some things if you want to look at it. But I feel like they're starting to make a turn for the better, and I hope that's where they're going from here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's just kind of it's like I said. I think what is kind of fascinating on my side, and Josh, I'd love to sort of is that I know that Pokemon games have stories, but then when you're actually like explaining this, even sort of like the cursory sort of like overview that we've done and everything, but it's like there's a lot more here than I think I gave it credit for. Unfortunately, I just don't think I'm going to do the required reading to like, I'm not going to listen to a 4 hour, like, like even for like Destiny 2, I love that game. But in order for me to understand it, I had to listen to a 4 hour, 5 hour long like YouTube video essay. And I'm like, I'm just not doing that for games anymore. Like, I'm just like, no thanks. Like, if you
Oh, we
can't
can
figure
cross
out,
Xenoblade 3 off the list then.
well, you boys better hope that game sort of just wows me. That's all I'm saying. Or else, man, I'm gonna make some people feel bad. But yeah, it's interesting, and it's kind of like, yeah. I think it's just like I think the entire process has been like, because yeah, I sort of have like a low grade. It's not like the seething hatred I have for Sonic games, but I do have like a low grade sort of contempt for Pokemon. And the fact that like I'm like, no, this game is actually kind of like it's kind of cool. Like it's not my favorite. Like I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Like, and at times I find it to be kind of enjoyable, And so it's like there's kind of like it actually falls. It's funny because like we opened up some of the conversation where I was like, you were trying to pitch this to me as like Breath of the Wild meets Pokemon, and much like Breath of the Wild, eventually, like I come around on it. I'm like, yes, it's a pretty good game. It's not my favorite thing. Some of that is like my countercultural, like just like people tell me something's good, and I'm like, you're stupid and wrong. It sucks, and
Never heard that before.
not countercultural. My contrarian sort of side of things, but But yeah, this is cool. I'm glad I played it.
Good.
And just even sort of thematically, like, am I gonna become like a Pokemon stan? Nah, but it's like it it turned down the burner on my low sort of that simmering resentment.
Good,
Yeah.
good. That
But
is all I
Josh,
can ask for.
Yeah.
what are sort of your thoughts on just some of the narrative and the themes and everything else here? So
Yeah, frankly, I would say that the story is there for fans of the franchise. Because it is very
so
much
8-year-olds and perpetual man children.
well, the people who have played other games and would catch the references. I think the game that they created in Pokemon Legends Arceus stands on its own merits apart from the story.
Yeah.
And frankly, that's largely how I played it because I didn't catch any of the references. I'm most familiar with Gen 1 Pokemon. And so I didn't know any of the story stuff. And to me it's like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." It's cool that it does that. I don't think it is staking anything on it. It's kind of Saturday morning cartoon-esque through most of the game. Stuff
Literally, it is a
things
Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah.
things go bonkers at the end, but that also feels, again, yeah, that it has that same feel of the tension rises, yeah. But it wasn't anything that blew me away because I didn't catch the references, because I didn't even know who these Pokemon in the caves were. Okay, cool. They're just telling me I have to get these 3 more things. Then I use those 3 things to get to the end of the game. Which I say like that comes off negative. I mean, like, no, I think the game was good enough that I didn't have to know that stuff, and I still enjoyed playing it. But I think all that stuff is there for fans who catch the references to, it's the good kind of fan service, not the
Yeah.
skeevy kind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and actually as we've sort of been recording this, like, it's like I said, I struggled, but it's like now I kind of want to go back and actually beat the game. Like, just like I want to see the ending now. Like I want to punch Volo in his stupid smug face and like be like, "You
Fair.
suck, dude." Like, because like here's, and I guess here's like I don't know that there needs to be some like deep moral truth, but it's like, his whole motivation. And again, like I've only like the sort of like reading things while we're, in between like waiting for talking and everything else. Like his whole thing is like, he's like, the world kind of sucks and it's not fair and it hurts. And so I'm going to sort of like get in God's face and shake my fist and be like, why does this world suck? Blah, 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 blah. And if God doesn't do what I want, then I'm going to throw a temper tantrum and I'm going to try and kill God. And I'm like, dude, so Volo is so much of like just it's such a worldly attitude, where it's like, I remember a dude I knew growing up said, like, if the God of the Bible is real, man, he's got a lot to answer for. And when I get to the other side, I'm like, and I'm reading that going like, bro, it's like, you obviously do not comprehend like the things you're saying. Like, you're going to look at the infinitely powerful, infinitely glorious God of creation and shake your fist in his face. Like, man, you're going to like on your face. Like, and it's like, and even like sort of like, and again, even within this, it's like there's the sort of the sort of like the expectation that you even have the right. Like, if Arceus is the god of this universe, right? This like sort of like this the pocket of this Pokemon universe, then all gratitude, all thanks is due him. Period. Because like, if he is the creator of time and space and everything else, right? Like, the position isn't like, you owe me. It's like, no, I owe you. everything. And Volo's like his audacity. I find it's a bit of a personal affront where I'm like, no, dude, you're kind of suck. Like
Mhm.
you kind of suck and you need smacked. Like, and so I'm going to prepare to issue that beatdown. Like it'll be one of the few
Nice.
times where like I will be like able to like kind of do that. It's like because like you see that attitude in the world all the time, man. Where like people are like, they just Anyways, so yeah.
I feel like it tells something pretty timeless like that. Like
Mm.
Ever since like the advent of atheism and everything, where you have all these philosophers talking about how, God isn't real and I hate him and all that sort of thing. I feel like,
If he's not real, then why do you hate him, bro?
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
it does, like I said, it seems like a very, very strange thing to be coming from a Japanese company. Like this
Mm.
doesn't seem to line up with like the typical type of like Buddhist style games, like SMT and Persona and all that. Like this seems very juxtaposed to that. And I appreciate that they actually tried to tackle it. Like they worked within their world. They created something that actually made logical sense in that regard. And I think it tells something that we can really take with us as kind of telling a truth.
yeah. It's kind of dope. It's kind of dope, and I think you got to give them kudos too to the fact that like, yeah, Arceus is not just sort of like the cold sort of like demiurge or like the sort of the absentee watchmaker. Like, he's involved in the process, even in bringing the protagonist to the Sinnoh age, right? And giving him the tools to sort of like hunt everything down. Like, because you get it's like, dude, this is real weird that you got like a cell phone in like feudal Japan. And it's like, but then I was looking and I was like, oh, like that's Arceus like did some like Pokemon god magic and gave you this sort of like crazy device thing. I was like, yes, it's one of those things where it's all like functionally like this is all in service to the game. It's like,
it's weird and
hey,
stupid, but it's kind of interesting.
we need you to have like we need a reason for you to have a thing that you can like pull up and look at your map and stuff. So you're gonna have like a magic phone thing, and it's like I don't know. It's like, and so yeah. But that's just video game logic. They do that stuff all the time, and we don't even blink 90% of the time. But well, gentlemen, it is very late. We have been going on for quite some time, and it's probably time to, as much as some people may be loath to hear this, it is probably time to start landing this plane. So before we do that, we have some forms to explore and all that other stuff. But before we kick all that off, I want to know if you guys have any closing thoughts. Joshua, you are I'll tell you what, man, I can see how tired you are. You crushed one of them PBRs while we were sort of recording, and I'm sucking down an energy drink, and I'm like, yo, my dude is going to be struggling.
Yep.
That's and where so we are. It's like, I can see you fighting a brave fight. Just hold on a little longer, soldier. We'll be done soon, pal. We'll be done soon. But do you have any closing thoughts?
I really like what they did with this game. It's funny playing it after playing some of the ZA because you do get there's a juxtaposition there. They're trying to do different things with each of the games and thinking about this one again and how expansive it is and just what it's trying to do. I really appreciate it. It's one of my favorite Pokemon games. So
cool. It's a very long list.
It might be my favorite Pokemon game too.
Yes.
Oh, sounds like a top 100 candidate.
Let's not push it. Nah. Wes, sort of, is there anything that you wanted to cover? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff you wanted to cover, and again, make it a big old beefy bite sized. That'd be fun, or don't. Because you got a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
But anything that you feel like you absolutely have to get off your chest before we sort of like wind this thing down.
Nothing in particular. I feel like I've talked a lot and I've tried to make sure my viewpoint was represented as much as possible. You know, trying to pick at some of the things you brought up. You know, I feel like that was pretty good. That made for a pretty decent discussion. Have you ever had an entire hour-long discussion based purely on mechanics with anybody else? Come on, like
Yes,
this
often.
not here on the podcast. Come on.
I mean, probably.
Mhm.
Like, listen,
Probably. I can't think of any.
it's
I've
kind
just
of like
re-listened to so many of the episodes. I have not heard this.
yeah. I mean, well, and it's like it is only really in the last like couple of years that I've come to sort of just identify as being a very mechanics driven player. Really, like, I mean, it's always been there, but I've only, but yeah, no, and it is like one of those things where I just like I understand, but it at the same time it is a little disappointing because like there's some meat on these bones. It's just like I just wish there was like a little bit more, and that they had done a little bit, like I said, like even with the stables, like, and I know you're like I never use the boxes.
Yeah.
Make them usable, like. Give people a reason. Like, I get it. It's like you're supposed to have your team or whatever. But it's like
so
I don't know,
inconvenient,
man.
though. I have to walk like 2 blocks away to get to that stable.
Well,
come on, why would I want to go there?
even that, like, I'm like, why is that the move? Where it's like, hey, like they make the whole even approaching it like super inconvenient, all that stuff.
Which is funny because in the modern games like Scarlet and Violet, you can just access it instantly, like no problem. Just swap out your Pokemon from your boxes, like no issue.
Well, and then like the other side of that though is like even sort of like when we were talking about like some of the meta stuff, like I'm just like just clean it up, make it make sense. And if like people are like, oh, my Pikachu used to have this ability, but now he doesn't because it's technically outside. Get over it, weenie. Like, you know,
You're describing like 90% of the metagame people. Like
yes.
like spot on.
And as somebody who is a metagame, like I get into metas. Like it's my thing. It's why I was obsessed with Magic the Gathering. It's why I'm still kind of currently obsessed with Marvel Snap in some ways. I love meta. I love like figuring out like the big, I love that stuff. Like it's sort of big picture meets nitty gritty, and it's sort of like putting all the pieces together. It's like I love making meta stuff. I love cracking the meta. Like I love it. And it's like it kind of bums me out because like there's something sort of compelling here. But like even like but it's just messy and kind of incoherent. And it doesn't have to be. And that kind of pisses me off. Like part of I used a bit of a spicy word there, but it makes me a little like cranky. It make like it's late. I'm tired.
I get it. Like one of my big complaints is the fact that you catch all these Pokemon, they fill up your stables, but then there's like no battling. Basically, your boxes, your stables, your boxes, but there's like no battling in this game with like other trainers. There's like maybe like 20 different trainer battles. Like there's really hardly anything, which is something like I do actually enjoy the battling aspect. You know, I like to battle. I don't want to just battle random wild Pokemon. I want to actually battle trainers.
And
so
even
I get it. That's a criticism I have.
Like, it's like the sort of like the only battling you do is against other Pokemon, really. Apparently, until you get to the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
but then you're so ill-equipped for it. That's why it took me forever to actually beat the final boss.
Oh, see, dude, I got a bunch of like level 70s, and I'm like slow rolling. So I figure like by the time I get to him, I'm gonna have some 85 90s, and I'm just gonna like waffle stomp them.
So, well, I gotta say, a lot of the criticism you bring up, just to end on this little final note, it's all addressed in Legends EA. They ramp up the battles. They ramp up the mechanics. They ramp up everything.
Sorry,
and
dog.
It's a modern day,
Not playing it.
And I'm pretty sure there's a zipline at some point, but I can't confirm that because I haven't gotten that far.
Still not playing it.
Okay, just saying.
I mean, maybe we'll see
someday.
I guess never say never. Like if you would have told me 15, 20 years ago, hey, you're going to play a Pokemon game and talk about it for 3.5 hours, I would have been like, you're on drugs.
If I told you this last year, you would have thought the same thing.
I would have looked at you and been like, you're on drugs.
You are no longer my favorite patron.
But that being said, we have talked about all the things, and it really is time to engage in the final forms. So let's see. Let's get into the Tildil, the too long didn't listen. Wesley, thank you for your notes here, but I'll just kind of rip through it and I'll ask some questions and get feedback. But who made it and who should play it? A Game Freak made it, the Pokemon company, and that's all helped by Big Papa Nintendo. Who should play it? 8-year-olds and perpetual man children.
Me. That's me.
That's not entirely true. There are some people like Parker really enjoyed it. So
I feel seen. I feel seen for the first time.
yeah. What is it, and what should you keep in mind while playing? So again, Wes, the fact that you had to use Quell and Catch, disgusting. But an
I
isekai
think we quelled this game.
Ghibli style romp in feudal Japan where you quell and catch monsters. Yeah, it is an isekai, and it's very like Ghibli-esque. So yeah, it's like I like that it is sort of like almost like the Pokemon origin story. Like this explores, Josh, like going back to what you were saying, this explores like the origins of that and the sort of like the tensions and like, yeah, it's like people in Pokemon haven't always just gotten along. This is there is a development there.
Mhm.
But do you guys have anything to add to what is it and what should you keep in mind while playing it?
I mean, it has a particular brand of theology that isn't necessarily Christian, but it kind of covers some Christian ideas.
Well, yeah. So looking at the worldview of this game, there is the benevolent creator versus like unlawful rebellion. You know, I think is like that's one of those things. You put taking dominion in there, man, and I think that's a bit of a stretch. I know.
You're catching all the Pokemon.
You're dominating the
You're
Pokemon,
stabling
I
them.
guess. You're stabling.
You're quelling and
Dude,
stabling.
poorly, dude. There's nothing orderly about that. Like part of dominion is bringing order.
Excuse me. Did you
chaos.
not bring order to your stables?
Dude?
I think that's a definitional taking dominion.
Yeah, but it's like it's thorns and thistles there, dude. Thorns and thistles. Like my labor fights me.
Mhm.
You know, it's through
But
my
you
sweat
did
and
it.
my blood.
But you did it.
To a certain extent. And then I was like, we're good. Now it's just like I clear out pages and I just make sure I got room for all my alphas.
Fair.
Another sort of like worldview sort of or theme there is like coexistence, but not the lame kind, where it's like man and creature sort of like man and beast working together. Like, and I think that is really interesting because that does like some of the side quests. It's like, hey, I need help with this. Can you find me a rock Pokemon that will do X, Y, and Z? And it's like, oh yeah, I got you, fam. That is kind of cool.
And they stick around.
Yeah, and there's something Edenic in that where it's like, yes, like you have to sort of like reverse the curse a little bit. Like you have to capture them, you have to subdue them. But when you do, like they become good companions and workmates.
Yeah. They're your buddies.
And because they are sentient and possess like some self-awareness, you should not eat them. I'm just throwing that one out there.
There's a lore. There's a whole lore thing with that.
We don't eat Pokemons in this household. Why does it matter? And it is not on the top 100, but should it be?
I think that's a good conversation for you guys to have later.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. Where you can find it. It is on Switch and Switch 2. It does not have an upgrade pack like Scarlet or Violet did. But it does run really nicely on Switch 2. And if you're going to play it and you have a Switch 2, that's the place to do it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Shout outs. Josh.
Yes. My shout out, the thing that just comes to mind when I think of our Discord lately have been the AI abominations that Spike has been continuously creating. He did one for the last episode where Big Chill lost his chill, and they're just always so much fun to watch. So thank you, Spike, for making those and for sharing them with the Discord.
Dude, that's definitely like stuff that if we were like more present on social media, those like little clips would be like super fun to like throw in.
It's true. Yeah.
Like,
I'm really
instead
nervous
or
about what he's
something.
going to do to this video. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Well, I'll turn
Wesley,
into Pokemon.
do you have any shout outs?
Boy, I wonder what my shout out is. No. You guys, it's great. I'm here on episode 198. It's crazy to think that you guys have been here for almost 200 episodes. So my shout outs to you guys. Like, good job, you know. You've been sticking around for the last several years. You've outlasted pretty much every Reformed podcast like that has sprung up since that time. Like, it's actually pretty amazing. You're like the only like gaming podcast I listen to at this point. So well done. Good job. Good job.
Cool.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
It's just every time you guys drop an episode, I'm just like, oh yeah, gotta listen to that. Sometimes it takes me a couple days because I'm working on a 100-page thesis, but you know, I'll get there. I get there eventually.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. But thank you. Yeah, man.
Yeah. As far as shout outs go, I mean, like, obviously you for being one of our, first and longest running patrons, for like coming on the app and hanging out. I'm trying to think how so there's kind of I've got like a 2-part shout out. I want to shout out Quick Mark. And there's like, there have been some like really cool conversations behind the scenes with him and sort of just his involvement in the community, that have been like, hopefully someday relatively soonish, you guys will see the fruit of some of that stuff. It's pretty neat. I don't want to spoil anything or put too much pressure on it, but I really appreciate, like, he and I have had a few really cool conversations, that, yeah, I really appreciate, like, sort of like some of the initiative he's taken in some of this stuff. It's cool. Also, there's not a great place to sort of like talk about this. Maybe we should have brought it up towards the beginning of the episode, but I did want to, Mark brought attention to our Onwards and Upwards channel about a sort of a friend of the show, and we had never had him on, but he was a frequent collaborator with Mark over on Quick Play. Billy Cox passed away recently. He was a fairly young man from what I understand, and he was a really cool dude. I had the opportunity to interact with him like 2 or 3 times, and it was a pleasure. He was just an absolutely sweetheart of a human being. I think he would have really enjoyed this episode. I know that he was like a huge Pokemon's dude. He played a lot of like the card game. And I know that he, and it just sucks. It just sucks. Death sucks. I don't know where he stood when it ended, but it's sad. And so I did want to just sort of recommend and sort of ask the listeners of this podcast, the viewers of this podcast, to be praying for Billy and Billy's family as they sort of wrestle with all the pieces of just he was a fairly young guy, and it just sucks. And yeah, death just kind of reaffirms my like sort of like, death sucks, and someday I'm looking forward to that thing being put in the ground. But so yeah, I know that's kind of sad.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I guess it is the. Is it question or personal challenge?
it is a question. It's time for a question.
Because we're when recording, like we're recording a couple weeks out, so I've got to be honest, we didn't get any new ones.
We didn't get any new ones, so therefore by default.
I got a question.
Oh, Wes has a question. Well,
okay,
Wes.
So Wes will be our.
Just a quick question.
Wait. Wes. What is your question?
Ooh.
had this question from the beginning I was going to ask anyway. So,
All right.
I didn't know you were going to observe this form. But now that you've played it, for both of you now that you have played a Pokemon game, what are your top 3 favorite Pokemon?
Oh,
Why?
man. I don't know,
Ooh.
dude. Top 3 favorite.
Or at least one.
Poke-
One
Goodness.
good
Poke-
one.
Oh, dude. Oh, go ahead,
See-
Josh. I'm typing.
Well, okay. I mean, you guys, I believe this was before we started recording, but you guys were putting down Gyarados, but I've always liked that whole, mythological idea of the worthless little fish turning into the water dragon is really cool.
Mhm.
So there's I mean, obviously that's not like an end game kind of Pokemon. It's not like the coolest, the baddest. Another
Have you
one
seen
that I
Mega-
really like.
Hold
What's
on.
that?
Have you seen Mega Gyarados, though?
Yeah.
Gyarados. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. He gets the dragon type. He actually gets the dragon type.
Okay. Yeah, that helps.
I need to see. Are there mega evolutions in this, or is
In
that just
Arceus or ZA?
ZA.
Oh, there's like a million of them in ZA. They've like more than doubled the amount. It's crazy.
Dude, Mega Gyarados looks like a boss, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the black makes him like really, yeah, like the black on his belly.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's
It's
the
pretty
red
sweet.
red
Mhm.
mega evolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's super dope. Yeah,
I've-
if he looked like that, he wouldn't suck.
And he gets a dragon typing. Like he's actually normally water flying, but he gets to be a dragon for once.
Sick.
crazy.
That's actually
That's cool.
okay. Like
Mhm.
Mega Gyarados rules. Like
Mhm.
he claps. But
Nice.
I've also always really liked.
Gyarados.
I know these are Gen 1 Pokemon, but that's what I'm most familiar with. I've also really always
Tourist.
really liked Arcanine, like Growlithe and Arcanine.
Arcanine's great. Yeah.
Arcanine rules, dude.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So those are some that come to mind. I mean, this tourist take Mewtwo
Oh well,
because he's
yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
he's just a boss. He destroys everything. He's the
Dude,
one.
Mewtwo's
you use your
design
Master
though
Ball
is so
on.
sick though too, man.
It's
Like,
perfect. Yeah.
It's awesome.
The only
Yeah.
time Mega Evolutions actually ruin an original design because he has 2
Yeah.
Mega Evolutions and they're both terrible. They're both awful.
They bring it back more to what he's based on, the Mew that he's based on. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yes, I agree. His original form is much better.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Pitch perfect.
Anyways, those are some that come to mind for me just off the top of my head.
Mhm.
I like Alakazam. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
like he's always like I like Abra, I like Kadabra, I like Alakazam. I think like that's a really fun design tree.
Who also has a Mega.
Does he? I bet
Oh,
it's
yeah.
dope.
It's
Like, he's got, like,
pretty
that
freaking
long-
sweet. Yeah.
He's got that long freaking like mustache thing, like whiskers thing. It's
Mhm.
sick.
Look him up. Look him up right now. Mega Alakazam.
Okay.
He looks like he
doing it.
belongs in like a Chinese like kung fu movie.
Oh, dude.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
always liked
Nice.
I always liked Hitmon. Oh, yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
son. Yeah. Dude, that is dope. Yeah.
It's pretty great.
No lies detected. He's pretty cool. I always did like Hitmon and Jetmonlee.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Always like them.
Good.
If they had them in this one, that'd be kind of sick. I'd be pretty stoked.
I think they do, but like as like the future Pokemon.
Okay.
In
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
they're in Arceus?
I'd have to look again, but
Oh, that just means now I got to play until I get them. Okay. Because like
See,
those are always two. Of my
and that's what
favorite
Pokemon
designs.
were made to do. Is
okay, not in
Yeah.
Legends
See,
Arceus.
I might-
Yeah. Okay.
oh
They are in Arceus.
No.
Or they aren't?
Mm-mm.
Oh. See, they'd
Too
get
bad.
nicknames. They get nicknames because they rule.
Mm.
Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or well, maybe Bruce and Jet.
Oh yeah. It is Bruce Lee. Yeah. What am I thinking? Jet Li. Oh my gosh. I'm a tourist apparently.
You are a tourist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. There's like, I think a lot of Pokemon have really cool designs. Like
Mhm.
I said, Alakazam rules, Hitmon and Jetmon are pretty cool. I mean, technically that's 3 right there, but like,
Yeah, they're
I'll
kind of the
do-
same though. Come on.
Yeah, and I'll do 3 from this one. You know who's kind of cool? They're kind of dopey looking, but I actually kind of like them too. Since I've got my Switch right here, it's in my party. Right now, Gudra.
Oh.
Gudra's kind of dope.
Freaking
looking,
love Gudra.
but also dumb looking. Like
He's
kind of dopey
amazing.
but lovable.
Mhm.
I like him. Infernape. Infernape's
Yeah.
kind of dope. Infernape's like a really. I
Mhm.
don't know though. Like now, there's like more Pokemons. There's the one. It's like the
Infernape
the
is
evolution of
cool.
like
Dang.
the penguin Pokemon. He looks kind of cool. I haven't caught him yet though. Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll go with that. We'll go with Gudra, Alakazam,
Mhm.
and Infernape.
Gudra's great. Love Gudra.
Gudra's like it's dude, and when he does
It's
like
adorable.
his beam stuff, like he
Mhm.
sort of like sucks back up into his shell and shoots his beam out. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
great.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So yeah, those are
3
my-
perfect
those are-
responses. Love it. For both of
Yeah.
you.
Sick.
I have no disagreement at all.
Mine are better than Josh's though.
Nice. Meh. Yeah, I mean,
Mega Gyarados,
except for
pretty great.
Mewtwo kind of
Mewtwo,
rules.
yeah.
And Mega Gyarados, yeah, is like, yes, I like Gyarados in theory, but like his design is just kind of like, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he was like cool back in the day, but it's like that Mega evolution though. That's fire.
That's pretty sweet.
That's
Yeah.
fire.
Mhm.
Mewtwo rules though. Mewtwo's like just one of the coolest like Pokemon ever. Like just like what's that frog ninja one? Is that Greninja?
Greninja, yeah.
yeah.
Greninja's a pretty cool
Greninja's
design.
Who
too.
also gets a Mega. I know, it's crazy.
Dude.
Nice.
I think Charmander's a chump. So is Bulbasaur.
I don't disagree. I hate Bulbasaur.
Squirtle though. Squirtle. Blastoise
Squirrel's
rules.
great. Yeah. Mhm.
Blastoise rules. Dude, okay. Yeah, no. I put you in the notes, Wes. So like that we're gonna count that submission. That's a good one.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay if I don't win.
So since there weren't any other submissions, I'm forced to ask a question that was left from last time. So Jake asks, Sonic or Bubsy?
Go die in a fire.
Okay. I'll change this one. I'll change it. Okay. I'll modify it a little bit. Okay. I'll turn it into a would you rather. Would you rather complete all of the mainline Pokemon games, all of the mainline Sonic games, or all of the mainline Bubsy games?
I'd rather go die in a fire.
See, at that point, I think I'd even have to choose Bubsy because there's like no games, basically.
No,
It's like
complete.
two?
Complete.
I think I can complete 2.
Do you think you
2
can
games.
complete Bubsy 3D?
I think I would definitely give it a try. Yeah. Because
Ugh.
like, if you're talking about completing like all of the mainline Pokemon games, like, is that every single game in each generation? Like, that's nobody
Yeah.
has that much time on the planet. Like,
Yeah.
And Sonic, like, I've already tried to complete Sonic games and I
It
failed.
has
So
taken
no,
them
thank you.
almost 30 years to get this far in Pokemans.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, you have to complete all of that? That's 30 years of backlogs, dude.
Mhm.
Like, get stuff.
I mean, it's
Like,
30
nah,
years
man.
of Bubsy also. So 30
But
years
it's
of
2
Sonic.
games.
Here's the thing, though. What is there, like 1 Bubsy game, 2 Bubsy games?
Right,
If I
there's-
become
yeah,
the
I think there's
leading
3
world
or 4.
expert on Bubsy, by virtue of the fact that I'm spending all of my time on Bubsy, I might actually be able to get like a spot on like the Games Done Quick streams. Come on.
Yeah.
And then I'll be known as the Bubsy guy.
Yeah.
And I think there are things that are worse than probably being known as the Bubsy guy. And there's probably things that are better than being known as the Bubsy guy. So I think I can kind of settle out on that middling area.
Yeah.
At least you're not known for loving horse girls.
And with that,
And with that, I have managed
think-
to just ruin this conversation. And that being said, Josh, we've done the things. I did the things. Wes did the things. You did
Yes.
the things. Again, we did the things.
Mhm.
Until next time, what should they do? Well,
Guys.
hey, if they want to get a hold of us,
oh
where
yeah,
should they do that?
yeah,
We
tons
never.
of ways you
We
can do that.
forget to do this all the time.
Yeah, check out our link
Before-
tree. We got all kinds of social medias that were, all around the internet. Go to linktree.com/the backlog breakdown, and you can find out a bunch of different places that we are at. And I would be remiss if we don't thank you, Wes, for being here, for losing a lot of sleep over this as well.
Too much.
Not as much as you
Entirely too
guys.
much. Well, dude, I mean,
We appreciate you. That's
I'm
all.
getting up in like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
4
Same.
hours.
Same.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yikes.
I'll take a nap with Byron.
So-
You know, when I put him down for his nap, I will just take my nap too.
And speaking of being remiss, I would be remiss if I did not state the fact that since this episode is being released on November 19th, it is considered the 19th anniversary of the Nintendo Wii. Just saying. It released on November 19th, 2006. Make of that what you will. Next
That's
year's the
pretty
20th anniversary.
That's pretty crazy.
Next year's also the 3DS's 15th anniversary. It's a
Mm.
lot of anniversaries.
They happen
One of
every
those
year.
things is way cooler than the other. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. I do like the
I'm
Wii.
usually not. It's like it's like I just at some point in time, like if we ever do merch, like I just want a shirt with me making a face saying then which is just like, am I wrong? Like just as a question. Just like, am I wrong? Or maybe a shirt is saying you're allowed to be wrong. Yeah.
No, you have to be super dismissive. It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, there you
That's right.
So Linktree.
Anyway,
Linktree.
Linktree. Yeah. Wes,
Yes.
if they want to find you, where can they find you? Do you want to be found?
Probably not. No, I'm in California, so
He's like,
Nobody
nah, I
wants
gotta
to
hide
come
from the
here."
commies.
I mean, I might have episode ideas coming out for Retronym once I get past my thesis stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, dude.
It's always the promise.
The
Awesome.
hope, the threat, the promise.
Mhm.
But all right, that being said, boys, we did the things. It's time for bed. So until next time, Josh, what should they do?
Guys, keep beating down your backlogs and we'll keep breaking down the benefits.